Hello, sketchbook heroes. We're going to be drawing this upside down umbrella, which is actually very awesome because it's simple and it's also tells a story. It tells a story. So that's what you want. One of the things that's great about drawing is you can tell stories. And we're going to break this one down. Let's break it down. Here we go. So yeah, definitely this one, it's a little part of a circle, but which part, right? So there's the circle right there. And you can see it's like the last down, the bottom third of this circle right here. Boom. You can see that the half of the circle here, and it's a fourth. Yeah, I would say that's about a fourth. Fractions, yes, fractions. So yeah, parts, and basically it's just parts. So you see a circle, that's the one, and you cut the circle in half, that's half. And then here's a fourth, right? Fractions and money and all that's related. So once you see the connections, it's amazing how it helps. So there's a circle there. And then we have other circles, and these are actually not circles. These are, I would say, ovals. That's these ovals right here. It's cut into. So let's cut those into ovals so you can see what I'm talking about. Right in here. There we go. It's probably even wider. And actually more than an oval. It really peaks. They're really kind of like, they're pointed. So it doesn't run along that actual curve. They are a bit triangular. Yeah, there it is, right about there. Yeah, it fits. It's still kind of a little pointy. All right, but you can see that it's the bottom fourth of that circle, and then we have all these other flowers and stuff, and we break it down into thirds. So the big parts are here. This part of the umbrella. We'll try to get that, and then we'll get everything else that's in there. So let's just jump into it. Let's just jump into this. Here we go. All right, so I'm gonna sketch out that circle and do it really lightly. Let's use our colored pencils. We had some colored pencils here. All right, here we go. So here we go. Just drawing a circle is good practice. Pretend you're an airplane flying around, and then just kind of slowly land, and you can get a better kind of circle there. Sketch it in like that. There you go. Say it right in there. And then you can fix it up. And we have a lot of little lines, and it's upside down. So let's fix that. There we go. And so it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. It's a little oblong. You can see, you can start shaping it up just like a piece of clay. You see, we've got all these lines. So you can actually start shaping it up if you wanted to. And here we can see the half. And here's the fourth, right? Use the fourth. Use the fourth, Luke. There we go. So you can see it's going to be that bottom fourth that we're going to need. This part of that circle, right? So, wow, there it is. We drew the whole circle just to get that little part. And eventually you don't need to do that. You can kind of see it. I'm like, all right, I see it. You don't have to draw it out. Now we need to break this into thirds. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's break this into thirds. So which is the thirds? Right in here, talk about fractions. We're eyeballing. We're eyeballing that. Let's see, there's participants. Here we go. All right, so we're breaking it into thirds right there. Fractions, thirds, 3 parts. And just the 2 little dots, right? Just the 2 little dots. And then we can actually swoop it into that bottom point right there, right in there, swoop it in. I mean, it's a simple drawing, but this is complex. This is a lot of eyeballing, a lot of little things that go in there. And I think we might have to bring it up slightly. Yeah, I want to bring it up just slightly because it is there, but I'm going to bring it up slightly. All right, those of you just getting here, we're starting our drawings early. We are drawing, let me put, I didn't put it in the, yeah, maybe we have the mat. Yeah. Yes, you will have the link to the image. I just thought about that, and then I look up and somebody's asking for it. Awesome. Thank you for reminding me. Copy image address, there it is. And then let me put it in the chat. Oh yeah, I'm excited just to get it going. Let me get to everybody. There we go. There we go. There it is. There's the image. So those of you coming in, there it is there. And if somebody else comes in, somebody notices it, repost it in the chat. That'd be great. That'd help me out, help everybody else out, because that's what a hero is. A hero is somebody who helps others, right? We're just helping each other out. It's not just me. And also, if you're the warrior, you just like, you're there, boom, at it, solving problems, figuring things out. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go up a little bit higher because it's around there, about a fourth. And then we do our kind of ovals. We're going to do that. Just go in there and put the little spikes right in there, our upside down umbrella. And you can see how it's constructed, where the shape is and how it's broken into parts. There we go. Here's my umbrella. Ella. Not too shabby, Abby. I can see, especially when I look up, I can see that this one is a little bit lower. If I need to do some adjustments, I can adjust. Bring it up a little higher, or bring this one down a little bit lower. That's a good question. Let's take a look. I'm just doing this from memory. So let's take a look at the drawing itself and see what's going on. And see if we can get you for that accuracy. Oh yeah, no, it's really, it's not as steep as what I have here. It is more shallow, like the one in the middle. So I can, if you wanted to get it a little more accurate, you can get a little more accurate. See that we're at that point. But it's all good. It's all good. I think it's looking good. All right, I'm happy with it. And it is an umbrella, so upside down umbrella. So we're gonna I don't know if I made space. No, I don't think so. I know I'm gonna go ahead and we're not gonna draw the hand because it'd just be a little too complex. So we're gonna get the handle, the thickness of the handle. There is a relationship. We can break it down. So be careful not to make your handle too thick or too thin. The length, I'm actually shortening it slightly just to make it fit, because it's not going to fit on my paper. I didn't plan that out. Bad planning. But I was looking at the big shapes. I didn't really look at the big shape that was down here. So there you go. That's the importance of looking at the big shapes. I really was focused really on this top part. I should have moved it up higher next time. And then let's do the handle. The handle really is just a circle down here. Really is. You got to see this circle that's down here, this little circle. You can see that circle, and then that'll be the handle. So you'll have a little part of that straight part, and then just like that circle that kind of comes around, and right in there, right on that circle part. Oops. This is a challenge, trying to make it the same thickness all the way down. I cut in a little bit too quick. There we go. Yeah, and that's the whole, trying to get shapes, and then shapes to form. Because you draw one line and then there's a thickness. You're drawing a shape, not just a line now. You're drawing a shape, especially when they turn and curve like that. I'm gonna erase my little guide circle. Clean that up. I'm happy with it. Happy because I'm happy. There we go. Yeah, when you hit something, I'm like, oh, that looks good. I like that. Oh yeah. And there's sometimes you're struggling. It's like, oh, it's not coming. It's not there. But that's what makes the joy, when you're struggling, you're trying, and it's like, it's not covered. And then when it does, it's like, oh yeah, I remember struggling with this. I remember having a hard time. I remember, it really makes the good times better. All right, now here we're going to divide this up. We've got 4 flowers in the middle here, and then we got 2 flowers on this side and 2 flowers on that side. Ooh, look at that. So there's going to be 2 right here. I can just mark them, 1, 2, right about there. Watch my spacing. And then 4 in the middle, 1, 2, and then 3, and then 4. I've got that, and I think that's should probably be a little bit wider. I'm looking at it. I'm looking back and forth. And next time. And then here we go. 1 and 2. So there's our location of our flowers. And they're really simple, very simple flowers, very simple. If you want to make them a little more difficult, it's up to you. How high do they go? Well, they go above the middle. They go above the middle, and I'm trying to see this as a big picture. I would kind of see they kind of like almost, I would say, kind of fit in this area right in here. Right in here, they fit. All right, and we're going to go from left to right. I like trying to keep things in order. We'll start with the main stem. This main stem here just kind of like curves out, and this curves out. Get that flowing line that kind of curve out nice and thick. And then we've got just all the little parts, and these are all little swoops and stuff. So this first one has a swoop that kind of goes out like that, and then it's got like a little heart, I mean, we can break these little shapes, but it's just like a little heart like that. There's one. Then the next one is out like this and a little bit longer and almost kind of similar heart, but one is a little bit longer than the other. And let's swoop this out a little bit more, adjust, and one more heart. Here we go. Let's do one more heart on that one. Sideways, a little heart. There we go. That's good. And then it branches off to the right. So here we go. It branches off into a letter Y. So we're going to add the letter Y up here. And good. I'm watching my space. I'm not going too much this way. So here I'm going to have my Y almost go straight up. I'm watching my angles. This one is probably curving a little bit more than the one over there, the original. That's okay. I'm seeing where it starts right about here, where the second one is, where the our second heart on the left, right above it. We're going to go almost straight up and put the letter Y. Let's put that letter Y in there. And that's good. We talked about purpose last week, and that's the whole thing. Purpose, or why. Why do we draw? Draw for the fun. Draw to observe. There's actually a lot of positive consequences from drawing. A lot of them. There's a little circle. There's a number 8 right here. I see a number 8 right there. There's a number 8 right at that tip. And then this one's more like a number 3 right on here. 1, 2, 3, like right there. See 3. Oh, looks like a butterfly on that branch. Here we go. And then this one over here, actually, let's do this one a little different. Let's because it's in this space right in here. It's in this space, and it's really just like a regular flower. So I'm going to try to find the center of this space right here, right in there. Find that circle, put that circle right in there. I'm going to start off with that circle, and then we're going to go around it. And there's 6 not leaves, petals, 6 petals. There's one there, one here. I can actually just really plan it out, and then 2 on the sides, 1, 2. And then 2 on the bottom, 1, 2, just really lightly. I did it really, really lightly. Let me zoom in so you can see how light those strokes are. Now that I kind of see where they're going to go, I can just put them in. I can just like really quickly, like little arches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There it is, right there, a little daisy. And then now I can go from here to there. All right, we've got one down, one little part down. Do a little song dance, little finger dance. It's good to kind of celebrate. Yeah, all right, we're almost there. It's coming along. It's good to stop, reflect, take a look. All right, it's coming, it's coming. All right, we got the 4 in the middle. All right, so we've got one right in here with, let's see, let's put the stem in first. It's going to fit right about here. And then right at the top is 1 loop. So we've got that 1 loop at the top right there. And that 1 loop at the top. Then we got 2 loops on the sides, on 2 on each side. So let's do these little loops. 1, 2. Then on the other side, 1 and 2. There it is. Yeah, these little flowers are really neat and fun. They almost remind me of the designs you get from the Zentangles. The Zentangles, you got to look that up. Zentangles. If you haven't done any, look those up. They should be on my website. Well, eventually. Keep talking about it, but it's coming. It's coming. We got these couple big projects to do and out of the way, and hopefully we don't get any other ones. Well, sure we will, but we'll see. All right, we're doing the next one. The next one's really tall. I'm gonna actually see, I can see where it's gonna end up. I can actually draw it just like this little here. I didn't do it here. I'm doing it a little differently. Like this daisy here, I can draw that daisy. It's kind of be up here in this area, and I can kind of see how it's gonna fit. And then And it's not a straight line, so you know it's okay if it does kind of go to the left, and then it goes to the right, and then it goes back to the left. You don't have to exaggerate it that much. You just get a nice little flow. You can see how it kind of, I put some angles on it. There it is. And then I know it's going to be in this area, and it's not so centered. So this flower is not so centered. It's off center. It's like in the lower right quadrant, right about there, lower right quadrant. And then it goes heart on this side. It's kind of like a heart shape there. And there's kind of, I see like a number, the letter E. It's kind of almost like how I do my E right there, that E or 3. Actually would be a flip 3. And this is like a W on this side from here to there, and it's smaller on the side. And so this flower is not so symmetrical. It's actually pretty cool how this side is bigger and on this side is smaller. Kind of gives it that illusion that it's going back in space. And that's pretty cool. All right, so now I can see where my 2 on this side are going to go. They're going to be right in here. I can imagine them before I draw them. They're going to be right in there. And then there's going to be 1 on this side. And then there's going to be 1 right in here. I can imagine it. And just like the habits of highly effective people, you want to begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. You can kind of see it before you draw it. Imagine it. Imagine it, and then make it happen. And that's powerful. That's really powerful. You imagine it, and then it's wow, like wow, I imagined that, and there it is. All right, okay, now I'm going to imagine it right about in here. It's a little tight, so it's all right. I know it's going to be tighter than the original. That's okay. I can bring it down. I can solve that problem. I can bring it down, or I know I can probably bring this one higher up. And it is actually really close to that. So the other one is going to go right up here. Actually, why don't I block everything in? So the little one is going to go here. This one is going to go up here. A big one right there. And then there's going to be like a Y up here, a Y right in there. That goes down to there. And then this other one is going to go right in there. And you can see how quickly I just blocked it in with these big shapes. Right, and probably move that flower over, and really watching the spacing and how it fits, and really seeing the space. That's more important than where I had them marked. If I had to, I'm gonna have to move this little dot over a little bit and scrunch it in. But there it is. I can see that spacing in there just really quickly with big shapes. All right, let's finish that out. All right, so this one's a really simple. This one has 5 little loops. So let's do a 5 loop. One at the top. 2, 3, and then 5 right in there. There it is. And then bring that down. And then 2 on the sides. 2 little leaves pointing up. 1, 2. There it is. Get to the next one. The next one has a little bit of an S curve to it. I'll put a little bit of an S curve to it right in there. A little bit of an S curve as it goes up. And then, yeah, it's getting a little tight. There's 1 leaf and then another one. Yeah, my spacing is off. Spacing is slightly off. It should probably, the center, like I said, should have been wider. A little bit wider. That's okay. Next time. Or we can do it again. All right. Yeah, because it's not exactly 1/3. The sides should be thinner than the middle because of perspective, because things get, as a ball. Let's do a quick perspective. As it is a ball, even a pumpkin, let's say, the center would be wider, and as it gets to the side, the ones on the side get thinner. It gets thinner as it goes out that way. Yeah, it does get thinner. The one in the middle would be thicker because it's facing us, and then these, as it goes away, it gets thinner and smaller. So yeah, there's our pumpkin for the day. Now it's a jack-o'-lantern with a little one little 2 smiling. All right, let's finish this up. All right. Ooh, this one has 3, 6, 6, 6, and it's interesting. We were talking about last week patterns, and somebody counted patterns, and I don't think yeah, there's always a specific number of petals, a specific number of things. So there it is. So they're a little bit longer. And that's 3. There's 2 on the bottom. Oh yeah, I'm missing one up here. One up here. I'll put it back here. Right in there. A little overlapping. It's all good. All right, we've got our V over here. Do I need to adjust it? I'm trying to imagine it finished. And here we go. This would be nice to color in, actually. It'd be nice to color in, but the original is black and white. We're not going to go into color, but it would be nice to color this. And I like the whole story behind it. You know, it's like, hey, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade kind of thing, making the best of what you've got. And that's such an important thing. I mean, we sometimes we forget how good we have it. And it's easy to complain about the little things. They are just little things. I mean, it really is. When you see the big picture, it's the little things. Sometimes it's like, okay, well, it's just part of the picture. And we focus on the little things that are not right, and makes the whole picture. It ruins the whole picture when you look at just that detail, the little devil in the detail. All right, there's our Y, and there's one more that branches out right in there. And that's a little heart right there. Little hearts everywhere, hidden hearts. That's the detail you should be looking for, because it's everywhere. You just don't see it because you're not looking for it. It's like that. Look around you and look for the color brown. All right, now look for the color red. I know there's a whole thing on that. And you have to name it. All right. All right, we're going to do, I just did a little branch with a little leaf on it. Yeah, leaf. I'm going to do the other one with a little heart on this one on the right. Right in there. There we go. And I'm going to move this one up a little higher. I can see I'm going to need to bring this up a little bit higher. That's all right. And that's where those little adjustments come in. See, if I would already done all the detail, and I just really quickly blocked it in, I can bring it up higher. And it does have a little swoop out and then swoop in. I'm exaggerating it. But you can see that one little leaf on one side. And then these petals are different. These ones go up, more like a violet or something. We'll do the 3. There's 3. 1, 2, 3. And then there's 2 in the middle. 1, 2. And then there's 1 on top of that one, right in there, like that. There we go. And that's it. Oh, we just need the raindrops and then we're done. Let's zoom out. See our masterpiece. There it is. Ta-da. All right, a whole bouquet. All right, we've got 28 happy people here drawing. We started a little early. If you're getting here, it's 7:08. Let's put our drops in. You know, there's just try to get the little lines, the raindrops, and just spread them out. Trying to get the distance between them, and just little lines going up and down. Watch the spacing. Bring it down. There we go. It's probably a little bit darker. I'm darkening up some of them. There we go. Quick raindrops. Watching the spacing, the length of each. Some are longer, some are shorter. And I'm looking back and forth at the drawing. They don't have to be exact, but you want to try to kind of match it. And then maybe even, I don't know, if you want to fill the whole page, little lines going out that way. There we go. That's it. All right.
Eladio, hi.
Yeah. Hello.
This is Ine. Can you please put up the original artwork?
Yes.
Because I missed that.
That's all right. And I put
Thank you
as well. Let me put it in the chat. So here it is. I think I'm sharing my screen. So there it is. Let me put it in the chat as well. Again, here we go. All right, we can talk about the second one.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we're gonna go with our second one. The second one, actually, this is just similar. You can see, actually, we probably won't have to do it. I'll make it bigger, but you can see how we did ours. If you want to do this one, and feel free to draw on your own, practice. You don't have to, it's sometimes stepping outside your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. And that's where the learning is, like, oh, okay, wait a minute. Like, here you go. You can see the steps, the little branches, and then all the little hearts and little stars. And there's like 2 little flowers really here on that one. And then the ribbon. These are 2 different ribbons on this example. Interesting. And that's in the meetup. These drawings were submitted by, and that looked like it was Ellen. It's awesome. She's submitting these. And I put them in order. I put a little, we will quickly sketch this one. All right, let's quickly sketch it. I'll quickly do it. And you can see how fast this will do that. Yeah, I did put notes. I'll actually, let me put this one in the chat as well. Then we'll do this really quick. You'll see how fast we can do it. Just for a quick copy image address. There we go. Let's put it in the chat. Paste. There it is. All right, let's draw it real quick. Quick. All right, let's see. How many are there? Ooh, there's a whole bunch. All right, I'm breaking it down. I can see there's 2 at the top. 1, 2. And then there's 2 on the side. 1, 2. You see, I try to see them in parts. 2 on this side. 1, 2. And then 2 more on this side. 2 little ones on this side. And then, I don't know, we can make them a little bit longer and then do our little tie on it. A little bit of a tie. Okay, let me stop sharing. I'm sorry. I'm still sharing. Sharing is caring, but you got to share the right thing. And then the ribbon, there's 2 different ribbons. I like, I don't know, well, go with a little heart on the ribbon. So there's a little bit of a heart on one side like that. And then the one little string, we'll do a little knot and then another little string kind of right in there like that. And then we decorate it with little hearts. So we're going to go in there with tiny little hearts. And then you can see just doing it really quick. Just go in there really quick, little hearts all the way up. And then it ends on a little circle. There's 1 down. This one ends on a flower. Oh, okay. I'm like, wait a minute, it's different because all the drawings are different. Each drawing is different. Oh my gosh, touch it. It's like, oh my gosh, when they do step by steps and then they're not consistent. They are not consistent. So there's going to be a flower right at the top of that one. Let's make a little flower. And that one has, it looks like more like a rose. You've got the 2 on the side, 2 little loops, and then you got 2 little other shapes right in there. Let me zoom in because it's really small and tight. Let's see, here we go. 2 little loops, and then I don't know, and a really small drawing here. We're gonna kind of like a rose. There's like this little shape in there. I'm not going to describe it. It'll take a while, so I'm just drawing it. And then yeah, 2 more like little petals right in there. Zuzu's petals right in there. All right, now we're going to squeeze in some more little hearts. And squeeze those in because I didn't really make space for them. I guess they're really. All right, next time I'll just pretend they're behind the rose right there. And sometimes you gotta just be adaptable. You gotta learn to, adapt and be flexible. Sometimes we want things a certain way and it doesn't turn out. That's okay. Gotta adapt. You gotta be flexible. The whole world's changing. We can't. You gotta learn to accept certain things sometimes, right? We can't. If I was the king of the forest, yeah, I'd have things differently. But we're not. I'm not. Yeah, these are a lot more open, I think. Yeah, I wasn't looking at this. I was looking at their other one. So yeah, we'll just do little hearts on all these. Let me see. Let's figure this one out. So yeah, there's going to be another little rose on this side. Make it bigger because it opens up better, nicer on that one. I'll make it about that big. And the other ones are just little dots with little stars and stuff. They have little balls at the top, little circles. This one goes out further. it's good as far as design, thinking about how things flow, how things move, adding variety, adding harmony, adding rhythm. Those are the principles the principles of art. And that's how you put things together. Because mostly in beginning drawing, we focus on the shapes and the elements, but in the principles, we really worry and focus about how are all those shapes and elements put together to tell our story. Just little hearts all the way down. There we go. Well, I'm just going to do little hearts all the way down really quick. These are fun to do. Yeah, again, like the Zentangles. The Zentangle is spelled Zentangle. If you look those up, look up videos for Zentangles. These are kind of like fun to do, like little doodles you can do here and there. Once you know how to do one, you'll just do it and then just add variety, start changing it up. Okay, I'm going to do a flower over here, a flower over there. Do this on an envelope. You're writing to somebody. Who writes anymore, right? It's nice. That's your challenge this week. Challenge for the week. Write a letter. Mail it out. Snail mail. Yeah, and you can do little flowers on it. Thinking of you means something, right? That little something. It's the little things. It is. It all really depends on what you focus on. If you focus on the bad little things, it seems everything's bad. If you focus on the little good things, then there's a lot of good everywhere. So here we go. I don't know. I'm trying to break down this flower, but it's some kind of rose. It's always challenging to do roses. There, it's a complex form, and it's a form, not a shape. Well, they're made up shapes, but it's more of a form. All right, so I'm going to do something like that. That'll be my little rose, and everything else is simple. Just do the hearts all the way through. And I think the corner of my eye, I see people popping in. Awesome. Oh, there it is. These all hearts all the way down. Hidden hearts. And then another row of hearts, and then we're done. Well, there's little sparkles here and there. I don't know. Finish my little hearts all the way up. And this is really relaxing. It can be meditative. It's like, okay, you just get into the flow of it. You're just making them, simple steps, 1, 2, 3. And try to do this from memory. That would be great. You're like, okay, I'm going to try to do those flowers from memory. And then you just do it and voila, there you go, little bouquet. And there's little, I don't know, little sparkles. I'll do these little asterisks here and there. I don't know what they are. Little bugs. It's a little movement to it, a little variety. The drawing has it, so I'm gonna do my take. Some here and there. There we go. It could be like little seeds. Fly, be free. All right, there we go. All right, that's our second drawing. Second drawing for the night. Let's keep cranking. Oh, I see stuff in the chat. Someone just sent this. When God sends rain, grow flowers with the umbrella he has given you and stand under its shade. Yes. You keep dry and enjoy its scent. Others enjoy God's beauty. Yeah. Good. Let's turn this off. Ready. Oh, wow, that's cool. A face painting job. Somebody's coming up with a face painting job for next Saturday. That's cool. I gotta look at my schedule. See if I got anything. Do some face painting. Sounds like fun. All right. Yeah, when life gives you lemons, you there's a bunch of other sayings. All right, let me share my screen. Let's go to the next one. As we get it a little more challenging, bringing up the challenge, but even the simple ones can be challenging. It's good to see and how they're broken apart, how you break it apart. There's the next one. Oh yeah, this one's gonna be fun. All right. So again, let's see the big shapes. Let's see the big shapes. Here we go. Yeah, that was a good warm up for this one. This is it. So yeah, you want to see these big shapes. All right, let's put a circle, a perfect circle right in here. There's one. This is more of an oval at an angle, but there's one there. one here, another oval there, but I wish I could do those oval side angles, but it's like somewhere in there. And just imagine it stretched out. Yeah, I'll do it as a circle. Because yeah, you can see the height and the width, the ratio. It is about the same height, same width right in there, and then it's pulled out. And I just need to let's move this one. Whoops, let's move this one there. Let's make it a little smaller. Hold down my shift. There we go. Down this way. There it is. All right. And then all this other movement and flow. So there's the big shapes. And Leanna, I see you there twice. So it's all good. And then this one. And they're not perfect circles. They do stretch out. And then, now let's break this down even to smaller pieces. Yeah, you can see this is an oval here. And then you can see all this is, let's look at these as one big piece. So if we kind of connect all these pieces here, this will give us a big shape. This big shape, you know, if you learn to see this big shape, it helps abstractly get the drawing better, how it's all going to fit. So you have this like a rounded diamond up there, and then you have this other oval shape right in here. Then you have this, I mean, you get the flow of this line here, this leaf, that really is, it's going in 3 directions. You have this direction, you have that direction, and that direction up there, 3 directions. Same thing with this one, but you can see the axis kind of mostly going in this direction, and then it curves out, and then it curves in. Let's see, there it is, all those 3 directions. This one almost like 2. Actually, it's more of a circle, but I can say it's like two. Yeah, it's a curved. Seeing the spots. All right, there it is. Looks like one big flower. All right, one more thing to look at is especially the ones in the middle. There's these pentagons. The pentagon, yes, they're everywhere. It's secret spy stuff, pentagon. So let's take a look at these pentagons, because the next step would be, once we have our circles, then you can see these pentagons, right? Seeing these pentagons. Here we go, from the corner to corner. There we go. You can see that kind of like going, I don't know, it's all wanky in here. Let's see this one. Let's try to do this one. Yeah, down here it gets smaller, but you can see that pentagon. Look at that one. It'll probably be right in there. And these just have little spikes. All right, let's do this. Let me put it in the chat. Let's stop this, clear all drawings. Let me see, mouse, right click, copy image, address, put it in the chat. Oh, we got 2 things in the chat. Sorry to consume too long. No, it's okay. We haven't, I mean, the most people we've had in here is 60. We're at 32. We're half of that, so no worries. 2 logins using on my computer, which has no audio, and 1 on my mobile. That's awesome. That's great. That's solving problems. We have a thanks to Enoch. That's awesome. Someone just sent, oh yeah, okay, I read that one already. All right, cool. Let's jump on this. All right. Oh, I'm gonna do this one in my sketchbook. In my sketchbook. I've been doing drawings in our all right, so let's do it on my sketchbook. Actually, I should probably go from the end, because, or you know, this paper is pretty thick, but sometimes it goes through. And sometimes you can actually even put a piece of paper in between. There we go. Let's do it. Well, let's do it on the second page and put a paper in between. We'll do that. It's gonna go in order. Got something here. Let's skip that page. There we go. Put some sheets in between. Last week's drawings. There we go. All right, here we go. We're going vertical. The composition is vertical. This is a vertical composition. I'm looking for the big shapes, so let's look for the big shapes. I'm going to start at the top. I see that circle for that big flower up on top, right in there. There's that one flower up there. Right below it is the other big flower. I'm just aiming for the big stuff. The other flower is going to go right about there. that big, right about there. I'm seeing the distance between both of them. The stem is going to be right about there. And then the stem kind of like goes really way down to the bottom of my paper. Let me zoom out. Can I zoom out anymore? No, that's it. I'm just going to bring the camera up. There we go. I'm going really light. And I usually do this. I do this really quickly just to get everything where it's going to go and see how it's going to flow. I know I got one leaf over here and one leaf this way. I should probably move it over at this point. I'm looking at it. It's probably, it's okay. It should be more to the right. And why don't we do that? I can show you how I would adjust. I would adjust it. Yeah, let's see. All right, so I'm going to adjust this because it's not like I almost have it in the center of my paper. It's really down at the thirds. It's really down at the thirds. And that's actually a really good thing instead of having it symmetrical. Symmetrical is a little boring. It really is. When it comes to composition, we're talking about composition now. So I'm just going to move everything over just a little bit. There's one right there, one right there. See, and we can do it simply, right? We can do it simply without a lot of work. Instead of doing it in your drawing and then like oh my gosh, you're halfway done with the drawing and then it's really hard to change, to make these changes. It really is. But here, let's see, I'm just changing 2 little circles. Beginning with the end in mind. Planning, that's why an outline is important. Make these changes. Drafts, rough drafts. This is the process, the process. Praise the process. All right, there we go. That's why we do things a certain way. Although this is a watercolor pencil, so I can use watercolor on this and get rid of these lines if I wanted to. And that's why we draw lightly too, so we can make those changes when we need to. And then once we're confident, this is where it goes. Boom, then you go in. See, now I can put in these other flowers. There's going to be one right about in here. Add an oval that way. Another one over here, a smaller one right in there. And I'm looking at all of them and how they fit. This is and then there's the 2 other ones. There's one right about here. And then another one right about in here. Wow, we got a theme going. That's awesome, Ellen. Thank you. We got flowers going. Yeah, feel free to post pictures next week, what you'd like to draw. We try to get through all of them. I know we don't always, especially I know there's some of them are gonna take a little bit longer. All right, so we've got that. Looks like I don't know what it is. It looks like a snowman or something. Let's see, is that all of them? Let's see, we got that 1, 2, 2, that one, these right in there. All right, then we've got the stem. Yeah, there we go. Stem kind of curves out this way. So sketch it out. And then here, this one, there we go. Now this one really swoops out to the left. And compositionally, it's not centered. There we go. See, it's a lot better compositionally, that composition. All right, I'm going to zoom in. We're going to start off with the top flower, and then we'll move our way down. So actually, why don't I wait a second? I don't know. Maybe I should do this darker. And why don't I do that? I'm going to do this darker so you can see it. And then I will, you let people catch up. In case you need to catch up. Because this is important. This is an important part. So let me put this on there. We had, I need my tracing paper. Here we go. I've got my tracing paper. Put it to use. There we go. That's better. Now I can do it darker. There's one right in there. That's the big one. There's this one at that angle. Right in there, right in there. And then we can do the same thing. Now I can actually even do the same thing that I did with the other one where I kind of like saw these angles here, saw the shape, and there's that shape. There's that shape, that one. And then this one, this one I kind of put together. That one big flower I kind of sketched out. This one's probably should be a little bit higher. I'm looking at it now, looking back and forth. If you want to shoot for accuracy, now like, see, this is okay. Not like a face. If a face was this off, then that would be a problem. Right, their nose isn't, then we're doing Picasso's work, and it's all good. Picasso, the first guy who really, no, actually, there was a movement. He wasn't the only one. Brock's was doing it. There's other artists that were thinking about cubism, seeing things in space, seeing things from different dimensions, different points of view, a multiverse, so to speak. There we go. All right, so I think I'm happy with that. Just giving you some extra time, making sure your outline is there. And I'm looking at, it should probably be even further down. I don't know. I'm looking at my spacing and looking at the negative space too, and seeing how it's all fit. All right, how it's all going to fit. All right, let's do this. Let's go to the top. Let's zoom in with our first flower. There we go. First flower. Let's get that pentagon. It kind of goes up like that, like that. And then down. Down. That's where we're going to aim for these points right in there. These points. And then there's all kinds of stuff happening in there. I don't know what's going on. Let's sharpen. Should we change? Should we change? Let's go to a pen. We're going to go to a pen, a ballpoint pen here. All right. So we're going to, now I have my points. I'm going to start off with the top petal. Top petal kind of fits in this area, kind of curves and goes to that point. And then it comes down right in there, fitting right in that little point right there. There's one petal. And then the two petals on the side of that. Kind of go, let's see, am I zoomed in enough? Yeah, there we go. That's better. And then the two petals, Zuzu's petals. Ready? I'm trying to think, making sure we don't get caught up in anything. So we're going to do the two on the side, the one that comes to that point right there, and then it comes around like this. There's a little bit of a point. There's that petal. Pedal to the metal. And then on this one, it goes to that point, but on the way, there's a little dip. So there's a little dip right in here like this, and then it goes up to that point, and then it swoops down just like that. Here we go. That's it. Now I'm gonna take a little break. I'm gonna focus on this that's closer on this front stuff, and then connect it all together. All right. So it's a really complex thing going on here. There's this petal that's kind of facing us. And it's at an angle. So it's kind of like a scoop. So there's a top part that kind of goes like this. There's the top part like that. And then the bottom part's easy. Bottom part is just like a little swoop, half a circle, kind of like our umbrella right in there, just like that. That's it. And then now all the little parts in the inside of the flower. Let's do all the little parts. There's kind of like a main little stem right there. Stamen. And then there's that one. There's a lot of little detail. There's that one. I'm going to go up here, and then there's little dots with stamens. I think. What is that? Stomata? Is that what it's called? Science, biology is coming into my brain. Little dots, little details. I'm just, yeah, this is all little detail, and it all just kind of fits inside. I mean, I'm not describing it. Sometimes you just got to look and do it. It's a lot harder to describe all this little detail. I mean, all this little S curve right in here. We'll be here all night if I were to do that. I can only take you so far. Sometimes you gotta, that's what makes this more of an intermediate drawing. It's really complex shapes. Complex. The complexity. Now this there's like another petal here that kind of curves out, and then it curves in right there, and then there's a little bit of a inside part. What's going on there? Let's see. All right, I think that's it. Now there's the little part. There's this, and I know I already see it. There's kind of like leaves. They're not really petals. It's kind of like where this was where it opens up. This would probably be colored green. So there's one little, like a little loop in here like that. There's one. There's another one that comes down like this, right underneath. These little hooky things, playing hooky. Notice how they hook. And this is the tapered tail, the tapered tail. I tell you, you'll see it in all kinds of places. So let me really quickly mention what the tapered tail is. The tapered tail. All right, so these are tapered tails. So they taper, which means they kind of go to a point. They taper. There it is, a taper. And then there's a bend to it. So there's a little bit of a bend, like an S, like a ponytail, like a, there it is. You can see how it bends like that. So it's a tapered tail. Those little tapered tails. When we did the horse, I mentioned that a couple of weeks ago, and then I told you we'd be seeing it here and there. And that's it. You practice drawing stuff, you'll see it over and over. You say, hey, there's that shape. Oh, here's this, here's that. And then you just throw it in there. And there's another one going this way, right underneath, right in there, like that. Fits right about there. A little puzzle. Every drawing is a puzzle. All the little shapes. And then there's another one back here, out that way. There they are. 4 of them. And then there's this shape. There's like a half circle there, like that, with the stem. And then it goes down. But I'm not going to draw that yet. I think, well, I can draw it here. Kind of put the little thing, because we're going to put this other flower goes in front. Right, so this next flower down here below, it's going to go in front of our stem there. So I'll leave that there for a second. And then we'll go down to our next flower. We got one down, one big one down, another big one, and 4 small ones. One more big one, and then 4 small ones. And we'll be cranking through this. And I think, let's see what's next. Let's look ahead. Yeah, quick little camping scene, and then yes, we get into Woodstock, and that should take us into our second hour. I think that's our second hour. Well, no, yeah, well, we'll see. See if we can do. Yeah, then we get to the skeletons in the second hour. I think that's what it was. We'll see if we can crank out these last little drawings really quickly. I guess it's just really Woodstock and the camping scene. And they can actually go together. Actually, yeah, that's pretty interesting. We can put them together. All right. This one's the one that's taking a while. All right. So I'm going to zoom out. The other flower. I don't know what kind of flower these are. If you know what they are, put it in the chat. Here we go. And then the pentagon again. Break this down into the pentagon. It kind of does go up right there, like that. And then down like that. And then you have all the same thing, really similar to the one that was up on top. Really looking for this point here, this point there, this point there, those 3 points. And then down here we have 3 more points, but they're like in this little, they're all bunched up, kind of like the top rows is. They're all bunched up in there. All right, so let's do this. Let's see. I have my guides right there, my little guides. Now we just go in there and watch this. We're going to do, I'm looking at it, and it just goes up. There's a little bit of a swoop, a little bit of a taper tail. Then it swoops back down like this. See the top? Look at that leaf. So there's a little bit of an S curve, like a taper, and then it comes down like a tapered tail, a really thick tapered tail. Then the next leaf, the main one, the petal, is just like a football shape, kind of like comes up to the point, and then it comes down right there. Here we go. And then we've got same thing on the other side. Comes out to that point. See, it curves out to that point. And then it curves, tapers back down like this. There we go. And like that. There it is. Yeah. There we go. This one has a, let's do the, another, there's a W here, a W, a wobble, double, W, it's double V, W. There we go. It's more like a double V, W. There's two little V's right in here, kind of like that. Oops. Right in there. So W really opened up. And then it actually, this pen, let me clean the tip a little bit. Oh yeah, I'm pressing really hard. Oh, good thing I have my pages underneath. All right. Oh yeah, it's going through. Yeah, look at that. I can feel it. We're embossing. That's an emboss. We're embossing the paper. Who's the emboss? Who's the boss? All right. Now we're going to cup this W. We're going to cup it. We're going to cup it. So we have that W. Notice that W shape, like open W. And then we're going to cup it. So you see this shape, like this rounded cup right underneath that. There we go. Right underneath. There it is. Close it up. And then it's got little details on here because it actually continues. And then it actually, another little textured line, all these little details just kind of go in there, little specks. The texture, Elena's crochet. Yeah, it's a little texture that makes the difference. And then that's intermediate, definitely intermediate advanced. We remove, what's more important is the structure. But yeah, it's got, this one has the intermediate advanced stuff with the texture. All right, so there's a little stamen right here, kind of like a circle shape with a little stem on it, kind of comes down right in there. And then it's got, I don't know, it's really hard to see, but like little circles, kind of like the one up above it. Let's do 3, 1, 2. Heart, we'll do a heart on the top one, like a little heart shape. It looks like a heart. I'm just drawing what I think it looks like because it's not that, it's really small. Like that. It's almost like scratch marks. And then there's the inside lines. The inside lines. So we have inside lines for each of these petals. Comes in and down. And down right there. It's kind of like center lines. There's 1, 2, and 3. And these are thinner than the outside. The outside lines are actually a little bit thicker. If you need to go back and thicken the outside lines a little bit, thicken them up. And then the inside lines would be a little bit thinner because they're like little creases or little details. But the outside lines are a little bit thicker. For noticing the line. I made this line really thick right in there. This one actually is really thick right in here. Thickens up. I need like a marker that would actually, as I press it, it gets a thicker line. Well, there's our second flower. There's the big one. Now we need the 4 small ones and we're done. All right, let's readjust. I'm seeing this should be coming out from right in here. It's going to come out right in there. I see the big picture. Let's zoom out a little bit. All right, we got this one's going to come out from right in here. I'm bringing it down a little bit. And then this one, yeah, this one's good. I'm watching the space, the negative space. So there's space right in here. This one kind of comes out right out of it. This one should, if anything, I might pull it up a little bit more. So I'm looking at the space, the negative space that's not there. All right, that space kind of comes out that way. That's good. This is going to come down. It should probably be a little bit longer, but that's all right. It's all good. And we still need the bottom parts to this, kind of like the bottom part to that, the little, the casing, I would call it, I guess, the casing of the flower where it's encased. Little tapered tails right in there, and then it comes down, and then this one is going to come out. I'm rechecking my mid shapes, these mid shapes, and seeing if it still kind of makes sense. Trying to still see now, taking a break and seeing the big picture because we got focused on the details. Now we're taking a step back and looking at the big shape, overall shape, and see how it's all fitting, how it's coming together. See if it still makes sense. See if we need to stop and start again, or and actually the spacing here should probably be lower. I'm looking down here, it should be lower. I would bring this down. Yeah, bring this down. Bring that spacing down. There, it's coming together. It's coming together. Yeah, don't be, see, we can make these adjustments here. We can make these adjustments, and sometimes, you know, and that's the way it goes. You have to adjust. You have to be flexible, and getting used to that. You have to get used to that, making those changes. Because sometimes, like, you know, if you get that little angst feeling, it's like, oh no, you know, hey, but it's part of the course. It's like, okay, I see it, fix it. You see it, fix it. See something, say something. See something, do something. You can, you know, be proactive. This is being proactive, like, okay, I see this, so I'm going to change it. And it's just, you know, it's just something. Just becomes par for the course. All right, so this next leaf here, actually, this is the casing. Kind of looks like this. I'm not getting it exactly. It's all right. It's something like this. Looks like a little like a bull, Chicago bull. I don't know. See in the news, Chicago Bulls. I just heard something recently. All right, it was just in passing. And then there's like a little texture right in the middle. Yes, I'm putting a little line, textured line. All right, there's the casing. And then here we go. There's one big petal in the middle. It kind of comes to a point right in there. And then there's another petal. I think my spacing is off. I'm looking at the negative space. This should be lower or smaller. That's okay. It's not a big deal. That's okay. I'd have to watch my spacing. Definitely there's more negative space in here. There's like, I'm looking at the negative space and like, it should be more. Probably should have made my flowers a little smaller. That's okay. It's all good. It's all good. All right, so we have the big petal, and then we have the other petals around it. So let's put the other petals. This other petal, this first one on the left, comes from right up here, and then just simple straight up, and then simple down, and it curves down this way. Notice the curve on this part right there. So it curves up, and then it curves this way. And if we really should draw a part of a circle, I mean, that circle would be in there. It's just those little parts of that circle, like that umbrella. This swoops up this way, swoops back. There's one. Let's get the other one. And then this one. And it swoops behind the casing, the little casing, just slightly behind it. There they are. Those are the three. And then there's a center one, kind of like comes in, trickles. And then there's a space, and then it trickles some more down the center, kind of like that. There we go. And then there's two more petals behind there. I'll give you a second to catch up if you need to catch up while I take a little drink and some ice. All right, thank you for joining us. Good night. No, I'm just kidding. We're almost there, almost there. Three more. Actually, two more petals on this one, and then three more the smaller little root flowers. The other two petals really simple. They just go up to a point and back. And kind of like, how would I describe it? It's kind of like a triangle, but it's, let's see, it's like this. It's like I would say it's like a circle with a point. So it kind of like it goes on the circle, then it gets pulled out. Let's do it again. Make sure we're on camera. Just like that, and it's off camera. So you have your circle, and then you pull it out to like a point. So it's really kind of going along the circle, and then you go up on the point, and then come back down onto that circle, kind of like that. Like that's what's actually happening in that little point. So kind of like you're kind of like going along, and then it goes up to a point, and then it comes back down in that little microcosm. All right, there it is. Now I can do the stem because I have a place to put it behind. stem from our first flower, just bring it down. There it is, just bring it down, straight down. There it is. Boom. And there's little textures on it, a little texture. If you want to color it later, that's fine. I'm just putting little scratchy marks on it. Adding that texture that makes it look like, wow, look at all the detail. I just scratched it in. All right, let's get to our finish, our four on the top. This one right in here, it's a little bit of an oval shape. I am bringing it up slightly. I'm trying to watch my negative space, which I haven't really been doing it too good of a job. There should be probably up a little bit higher, a little bit smaller. Yeah, this one should have probably been up higher and smaller. It's all good. Sometimes it's hard to talk and draw. I don't want to play the blame game with my little blame thrower here. It's easy to do. Oh, it's because of this. Oh, it's because of that. But I just got to accept it. All right, I didn't catch it. Try to catch it next time. It's always about the next one. The next one's going to be better. The next one. And I don't know. I haven't drawn flowers in a while. Blame game. Caught myself. All right, here we go. Let's try this. Let's zoom in. I'm going to play the blame game. All right. Well, it's all right. And that's the thing. You got to take ownership. Like, okay, I did that. Yeah, I did that. The good and the bad. Ownership. Own the ship. All right. There's an oval here, but there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of, and actually it's form. This is actually pretty complex. So what's really happening, this is like an egg shape, an oval shape. And then we've got these, like this center, like right in there. Am I on camera? So this oval shape, the center, and everything kind of comes out of that centerpiece. So you really have to understand form and drawing form. But it kind of like bumps out, and there's this little, see, I have this little push in here, that little push right in there. That's what we're going to be doing. Kind of like that. It kind of comes out of that form. That's, it's kind of like a sphere. All right, so let's draw it. It's just that it's smaller here. There's a lot going on. So it'd be actually better to draw it bigger. It's all good. So this one, here's the center, and then here this pops out, making sure it pops out, and then this part, the way it overlaps, the way it kind of like goes in there. All right. Oh, it's a little detail. And then you've got this one shape. It kind of looks like a little bell pepper. And that's that same form too, a little bell pepper shape. You got this little rounded circle there. Looks like a mad face with this frown going down like that. And then it just continues all the way down, this little petal. And then this one here, I think there's another one right there. Yeah, there's another one. Break this one in half. And then going down that sphere. And then there's like little details there. Just kind of scratch them in. And scratch it in. There's a little bit of some of the details. See, there's little details right here. It's like little things right there. There we go. There it is. Those are the petals. Now let's do the casing. I call it the casing. I'm sure it has a name. I'm sure it has a name, all the flower parts. But yeah, this is all right, here we go. This is just like a little, it's like a little moon, actually. There's two circles. Speaking of seeing shapes, there it is right there, that way. Another one going this way. I'll do the big shapes first. I already kind of did the center one. There's like little moon shapes. There's little moon shapes. There's three of them. 1, 2, and then 3. Like little toenails. There we go. Toenails. Little moon shapes. I don't know who said that. I remember my kids saying, "Oh, it looks like a toenail, the moon." Actually, that's I think you get those on your nails as well. I don't know if it's a deficiency or if you bang them up. All right. Balloon flowers or platycodon grandiflorus orchids. I don't know what they are. Oh, there we go. Oh, good. I'm glad the kids had fun drawing with me. The jar looks amazing. What jar? I'm not sure what jar.
Or the vase, the flower and the pumpkin, the still life that you
Oh,
drew.
oh yeah, the one we did last week.
Oh, I wasn't there. Yeah, that was amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, no, yeah, we didn't finish it, but we spent like an hour on just that drawing. It was one of the first long-term ones. Yeah, so the video's there. That was last week's video. If you go to our YouTube channel, it's at the end. Yeah, it's a 3-hour video. I need to break them up. I'm getting really close to getting to that job where I break up the videos and then put them on TikTok, put them in different places, Instagram, I don't know, different places. Oh, there's our flower. Okay, no, we're focused on this one. All right, and then it just goes in. Looks like it comes in right about here. This little stem made it a little bit longer. Probably went out too far now. That's all good. But it's see, this is where it doesn't really matter. Just make sure it just kind of like flows in. There's one line and then the second line right in there like that. But yeah, if we talked about shading and coloring all this stuff, kind of like we did with that still life. And I was thinking afterwards too, I always reflect. I'm like, oh man, if we would have drawn this bigger or just focused on one thing, you know, really get to an idea of what's going on there and what my thinking is when I'm shading or coloring. But like, this is really tight. I mean, this is a lot of detail, especially when you're trying to learn this. This is a lot of stuff in here. A lot of stuff going on with these flowers, this flower image seems to be very aligned with the rule of thirds. Yes, it is. The rule of thirds. So the rule of thirds, the gold section is, yeah, this is on the thirds, and that's composition. That's something, you know, don't worry about as a beginner. You really don't want to worry about it or think about it. You really want to focus on try to draw what you see. And then afterwards, you know, thinking about how things are composed, how things are put together. So really learning when you're drawing, learning about the letters and the vocabulary. And then afterwards, we put that together. And here it's kind of together, so I can talk about it a little bit. And you can see, yeah, the rule of thirds. And you'd have to have your emphasis, but yeah, definitely this is on the thirds. But I don't know if it would be this rose or this rose. That's kind of like the emphasis. I think it's this one. It's, yeah, it looks like it's about at the thirds because it does go further down here. So compositionally on the paper, it's probably this one is the main focal point. And then everything else is kind of supports that. Speaking of supports, that's where these other two, our last two flowers, and we're done. All right, let's get going. Let's zoom in. We're going to start with the one on the left. The one on the left, and then go to the one on the right. So this one here, actually, we still forgot the bottom part of this. Let's finish up this flower here. Let's finish up the casing. And this little, okay, so there's one on this side, a really small one, hidden, a little tapered tail right there. Here's another tapered tail right in there. So you're getting good at drawing these tapered tails. Those of you who were here a couple weeks ago. With it, and the girl, her hair too had that tapered tail. Right there, there's one. And then there's another one on this side. Little tapered tail. And then this one is more like a little half moon, kind of pointing up like that. There we go. There's our tapered tails. And then there's the bud that's underneath all that. So there's our 4 tapered tails. One little half moon, 3 little tapered tails, and then a little half moon. So a little half circle, kind of actually, that's where it kind of goes in like that. There we go, like that. Now it's really important. Let's put this together. This is because this goes together. So this is where you really want to get this to line up. This is where I see this a lot. This is a problem I see a lot. So people don't line their drawings up. So see, this need to make sure kind of, maybe even I'm getting my green pencil here. It comes down and it should be coming behind. See, you kind of almost have to imagine, if you have to kind of like throw out there, that one should be coming up there and coming down. right in here. Make sure it kind of goes through. You don't want it off somewhere. It should be, because it's that same one. It's quite a bit of ways, but it should kind of come down right through there, right in there like that. And actually, this is the main stem. So this one actually just hooks on to this one. So this is the main stem right here. This main stem comes down like this. There we go, like that. And then this one hooks onto it right there like that. So yeah, and make sure that it's coming down from the top, this top one, and it comes down, and yeah, it'll come down, kind of curves out. So yeah, trying to get that flow, and make sure it kind of is flowing from up here. So there we go. Let's zoom in. All right, bring that down. There we go. See that one should kind of come up right in there. This one is thicker.
I
And then-
did exactly what you said.
I'm sorry, you did?
Yeah. It did not align. They were like several inches apart.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. It has to have that continuity. It's called continuity, and the continuity breaks. Like, especially when there's overlapping. Overlapping, you'll lose that continuity. You got to be careful. That's one of the warnings. Warning, warning. Continuity. Keep the continuity. Continuity is so important, even in the movies. Has to be, if you, there's a scene, I don't know, I guess, because in animation and other stuff, it's important to have continuity. Like they say in The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy's hair is shorter, and then it's longer, and shorter, and it's longer. Nobody was keeping continuity on that. For The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy's hair. All right, so here we go. That stem, making it continue, making it, that's good. All right, that's it. All right, good. Oof, that was a hard one. Zoom out, celebrate what we have so far. Yay! 2 more to go. Oof. Taking a drink to that. Yeah, feel free to get up, stretch. Don't just sit there. We go for the marathon, but yeah, you gotta take care of yourself. All right, let's go on the left. All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to pull this down a little bit more.
Oh boy. Too far apart.
It's okay. But see, that's all spacing and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. And that's why you want to do these big shapes. That really helps. Yeah, here we go. So I'm gonna have to actually see, maybe bring mine down a little bit more. I'm trying to, and this is where I really want to try to imagine it done before you're done. Trying to imagine, okay, so this is gonna be here, this part's right there, then all this other stuff up there. So I'm gonna bring that down right in there. So I did pull this down. And here we go. So the casing kind of looks like the Chicago Bull. Is that, oh, another one? Yeah, just like going up on top. Like, hey, didn't we just do that? Yeah, we did. Really similar to the one above. So they're using some repetition. Repetition is another principle, patterns and repetition that artists can use to make things a little more interesting. They repeat shapes or repeat forms. But you have this kind of like rabbit tapered tails triangle, and it kind of goes right there, and then it goes onto a stem, onto the main stem. So it's a small stem onto the big stem, kind of like that. So there's that shape. Go ahead and get that. Little tapered tails. And then let's get that petal up here. This is one of the main petals. Kind of down like this. One. That's the main one. And then we have two on the right side. One, two, and it kind of comes down all the way down there. Kind of like the letter M. Looks like the letter M. And then it comes all the way down to the casing. It should go on the outside. I didn't, it's all right. It's all good. All right, let's finish this left side up. I'm gonna bring that up and then down. Is it bigger than it should be? I don't know. We're off. I don't feel sleepy, but I know I didn't sleep well. There I am playing the blame game again. It's all good. It's all good. All right,
¿Qué
so
te pasa? ¿Qué te pasa, Hilario?
no sé. ¿Qué te pasa, chiquillo? ¿Qué te pasa?
You remember that song?
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome. Pedrito Infante. Así se
Yeah.
llama. Pedrito Fernández. I don't remember.
Yeah. Who
Pedrito
would've thought?
Fernández. La mochila azul.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, old school. And then one more pedal in the back here. And it's actually lighter, if you can get that lighter. You notice the quality of line, the thickness of line. Some of these lines are thicker, some of them are thinner. Yeah, I'm just kind of using my pen and kind of just doing it there. All right. There's little detailed lines, and these are thinner. Speaking of thinner lines, there's like a little thin line in here. There's one right there, one right in here. It's like a little texture, little folds, kind of showing where that's at. And then let's bring my stem down and connect these two right there, right there. Oh, that one, they connect. Trying to get that flow. All right, let's move to the last flower. That's 8:07. We got to call this drawing, wrap it up. All right, and get on to the skeletons on the second hour. We're kind of going over here. Yeah, this is quite a lot of little detail. So I'm going to speed it up. We've got that center part right there. This is another little Chicago bull or bunny. Chicago, I'll call it Chicago bunny. They got little bunny ears, little tapered ears, kind of like that. There. There's that one, and then there's the stem that kind of hooks on. It's a really thin stem. There it is. All right, there it is. Zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. There it is. Yeah, and then we'll share out. We'll share out. Let's finish this up. I'm gonna go really quick. All right, because should kind of get it. So this one has like the M. It looks like it reminds me of the Mach 5 M. Speed racing. Speaking of flashback, there's a little bit of a taper, a little bit of a point, and kind of like what I showed earlier with where's it at? Ah, this one right here. This little thing, kind of like that. That's kind of what's happening here. A little bit of a point, and then it curves. There's that one. Then there's another one. Kind of looks like the letter M, like that. So there's that curve of the body, and then the point, and then back down to that curve of the body. And notice how it kind of looks like a letter M right in there. There's my M. And then here's the other petals. I'm just going to throw them in there real quick. One behind. And then this whole thing that kind of wraps around it up like that. And then up like that. I'm just throwing all these petals in there. Then the petals behind, one behind, and then I guess that part of that petal. All right. I'm going to thicken up some of my lines. Here's some of the thin lines right in there, that little texture, and then this thick line. All right, I'm going to thicken some of these petals, especially like this part right here. Thicken this one up slightly. There it is. That's good. All right. Thicken this up. A little texture here and there. These little lines. All right, that's our last flower. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out and just do the leaves real quick, and then we're done. And then if you want to, I see you already hand up, somebody wants to share, feel free to share. These are tapered tails. Our big stem here. Let's finish our stem first. Let's do the stem and have it just flow. Have it just flow. Try to get the flow down to the bottom. Low down. The stems are connected, so I don't know if I'm kind of like not leaving that little space to connect the stems. So let's see. Here we go. There's one leaf up here. Curves out. Then is attached. And it tapers, so it's thin, and then it goes to thick. And then it curves. And there it goes. And then it attaches. There it is. There's that one leaf. That one. Then there's a center line down there like that. And there's like little texture. I mean, if you look at the detail, there's like little texture, like little lines like crossed on it. I don't know, there's a lot of little detail going on. I'm not going to worry about accuracy. I'm just going to throw them in there. Because even on the stem, there's like little texture. Just putting it in there. What's important is the big stuff. All right, let's go to the other two, and then we're done. All right, let's see. There's the two. There's one on the left. Let's do the big one, the big leaf, the biggest leaf. All right, so there's a big one that's going to go right in here, and it's a nice little S curve. Think of it as a, it is a tapered tail, but think of it as a little roller coaster here. We're going to do the first line, just kind of come down and swoops, and it flows right onto it. Went too high. Should have been lower. My spacing here is off, and even my sketch down here. It's okay. Just have to live with it. Now the second line does taper, so it goes from thin and it goes to thick, but it's the same roller coaster ride, right? So it's that same roller coaster ride, but we're thin, we're really close, and then it drops down a little bit more, and then it winds up closer again at the bottom like that. It's not exactly the same, but it's okay. It's all just practice. Because you guess what? You're going to run across our tapered tails again. There's a tapered tail. And the more you practice, the more you'll progress. There you go. And you see, I've drawn this before, and you build your confidence. You build your confidence. I've done this. I can do that. When you're first doing something, it's like, I don't know. You doubt creeps in. It's like, but you just do it and just do it. Just do it. That was last week's theme. Just do it. All right, our last little leaf from down here, down under. It also tapers up, but it's a little bit thinner. So the first line is easy, a little kind of like S line. Let me zoom in. Little S line. The second line is always the harder one, because you have this one, you set precedence, and then the second one, it's thin, and then it goes wider, and then it goes thinner. Right, that second line is the one that's a little bit more of a challenge. And then you have the center, kind of like a little texture up there down the middle. All right, that's it. That's it. Whew. We went over the 8 o'clock hour. Thank you for joining us. Good night. No, we're still at it. We are still at it. So if you want to share, feel free to share. If you have to leave, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week. We are going to do the skeletons. Our next hour, we're going to be doing skeletons. Got Jack skeleton and a skull. We have a skull. And then we've got the third hour as well. Our third hour, which, yeah, we've got, actually, we've got Snoopy still. Yeah, well, not Snoopy, Woodstock. Yeah, we can do Woodstock, and then the skeletons, the skulls. Yeah, we just have a couple skulls. Yeah, we got to crank it up. Yeah, and then we got a cartoon face. That cartoon face is really cute. I don't know, see, we're going to crank it up. And then we got another face. Ooh. Yeah, we got a lot of drawings. We might have to skip something until we get to the third hour. Yeah, because we're already a quarter into this flower here. Took a while. All right, I don't know if anybody would like to share before you go, or if you want to share later, that's fine. Don't have to share now. I don't know if Haiti, you have your hand up. Ina has her hand up. Let's see.
I didn't mean to, Ilario.
It's okay. All right, so Ina, there you go. There we go. Hello. All right, what you got? Look at that. Nice. Oh yeah, your spacing is a lot nicer than, there you go. Awesome. There you go. Oh, you even drew the hand. Yeah, I took on that challenge. Super cool. All right, thank you for sharing. Awesome. And we got Yelena. Yelena, let's see what you got. You did it. Color. Yeah, wow, look at that. That's cool. That's interesting. Got a theme of flowers going on. Very nice. Are you using the colored pencils?
Yeah, it's a watercolor.
Yeah, the water. Nice.
really obsessed with them.
That's good. No, that's good to be obsessed with it, you know, and,
Yeah.
and sticking with one thing to kind of, oh yeah, look at that.
And
Wow.
then I try to do the water drops.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Didn't work well.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, that's a lot of detail. Yeah, and it's doable though.
Okay, it looks like it's time to say goodnight.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. Good
See
night.
you next time.
All right, we'll see you next time. I'll try to get a
Thank you.
form out there. All right, bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Thank you for joining us again. All right, Peggy. Let's see.
Okay. That one.
All right. The jackalope.
Yeah, I did that the other day because I can't hang on till the end.
Yeah, yeah, it's quite a marathon.
Yeah. Yeah, I get up early to work, go to work.
Yeah, nice, nice.
And
Wow, look at
mine's a
that.
little different because
Yeah.
I am ran out of room in my big sketchbook, so I'm using my smaller one.
That's fine. I like the way you made it look full on the page. That's cool.
Yeah.
I see, and that's just composition. And then now that's just playing with the shapes and putting things and being a little bit more aware of where they go. But first you got to be aware of the shapes. And then the next step is kind of like, okay, having a little more control of where they go and composition and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
you know, that comes with time. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Bianca, let's go with Pri. Let's see. Where you at? There you are. I see it.
Doing exactly what they're being told to do. She's been happy.
Oh, there it is. Oh,
No, that's not possible. Who's behind it? Well, I don't know who, but I am working on the way. A robot's running into me.
oh, it was you. I just muted you. I think you had, yeah, sorry. I muted you. You had some TV thing going. I didn't know it was you. Oh, yeah, there's your flowers. All right. Let's see. Very nice, beautiful. Ines says, gorgeous. Christine says, awesome. Love the feedback. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I love the support everybody you guys give each other. It's awesome. That's what I really like. All right, Priyanka. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Good seeing your smiley face. Let's see. Anybody else? All right, bye. Anybody else? That's it. All right, let's jump to our next set of drawings. Thank you for joining us. If you just joined us for our first hour and hour and a half, almost 2 hours actually. Let's jump to sharing my screen. We're gonna have to let's see. I don't know. I can draw these a little faster. I can. I know we've got these drawings here, these suggestions. Definitely want to draw this one because drawing faces, and I really like this the way this one's broken apart, broken into pieces. We can do that one. This one I know this one's gonna a little bit complex, but I really like it. This one is a simple one, so we can start off with this one. This is really simple. I'm going to do this one really quick. So I'm going to actually I'll draw this really quick, and then we'll speed it up a little bit. So if you can catch up, that's fine. If not, catch it on the video. You can pause the video. You can rewind. You can do all that stuff. And I'm going to probably change materials too. I think I might go with a marker for this, a marker and a pencil. So let's break this down real quick. It's really simple. The biggest thing you can see is that triangle right here. And there's a little bit of a curve, but you want to see the triangle, kind of like this triangle shape kind of sets, the big shape kind of sets everything else. Because then underneath that you have, here you can see the ratio. It's almost like a square here, right? This is a square, same height, same width. See how it fits in that triangle. Then you've got all these other shapes. What else? A little bit of curves, a circle up here. Yeah, we can draw that out. I'll draw that really small. Yes, really quick. And then let me put it in the chat. And then we'll do the Woodstock right after that. Actually, we'll just jump into the Woodstock. We'll do it really quick. Here's the Woodstock. Let's go to my mouse. There it is. Here's the Woodstock. Now this one, you got to watch the angle here. The angle of this. Once you get an angle, angles really don't change no matter how big or how small. These angles kind of stay the same. when you're changing the scale, changing the size of something, you can see the angle here, this angle, it's not 45 degrees. 45 would probably be there. This is 90 degrees right there. You can see a 90-degree angle. 45 is right about there, 45, eyeballing it. And then here you can see that angle there, that angle there. Right, and then the angle of a lot of angles here, this triangle of the hat. Right there. So you can see these big shapes. This is going to help kind of like put it all together. Just seeing that, seeing how all this fits. And here, these angles of the beak. Kind of this egg shape or pear shape. The head is kind of a pear shape. There's a lot of stuff. I'm going to draw it fast. I don't know. I feel like drawing it fast when we get to this one. So let's put both of them into the chat. There we go. Let's see. Mouse. Start off with this one. Copy this image address. Put it in the chat. Chat. All right, 24 of you hanging in there. There's the camping scene. And then we can put the this over the camping scene. So actually probably the camping scene on the right. Copy image address and put it in the chat. There's the second one. All right, let's jump to it. Let's try to, I'm gonna try to do this really quick. This one doesn't has less detail in our flower. The flower had a lot of detail. I think this we can go pretty quick. I think I'm gonna use my bond paper. White bond, James Bond paper here. All right, let's stop sharing. Here we go. Let's jump into this. All right, so I'm kind of thinking about my composition here, my paper. I'm going to highlight my paper. Here we go. Spotlight myself. There we go. I checked. Zoom in. So I'm going to do my little camping scene right in here. So I can see where it's going to go, my camping scene, and then maybe the little woodstock up here with the little angle, that angle of that broom flying over that little camping scene. So we get both of them together. And here we have a watercolor marker. It's just a basic watercolor marker. We got our triangle. Here's our triangle. Get that angle of that mountain. Then that little square inside of the little camping scene. And then the ground. I'm going to make my ground a little bit longer because we're going to put woodstock in ours. And then you got the little fire scene right in here, little fire scene right there. That's one. Got one tree right here, another tree over here, another tree over here. And then our moon, little moon shadow right in there. And this weekend we had a full moon. Those of you saw it. There we go. There it is. That's it. Look how quick I did that. How quick I did that. Right. And that's you know, it's like, oh, but it's, you know, it's like extra work, but once you do it, then it's like, boom, that's it. And you're just putting everything in. You're happy with it. I'm like, okay, you can imagine it done. I'm going to go from left to right. Put my ground in first, actually, just to put in a ground, nice straight line. Here we go. The first tree up. Our branches are little triangles coming down. The top one first. There's that little one. I don't know. I'm not going to count. They just kind of go down. I'm just looking to see how it fits. I'm sure I'm drawing less, but we're doing it really quick. A little flame right in here. It is like a circle. The bottom part is a circle, and then there's like a little tapered like they're not taped. Well, they're more like the little moon shapes. This one is a tapered tail. This one right here. We had one tapered tail. Yeah, that's a tapered tail, and the other ones are like little moon shapes. There we go. That's it. And then there's like four little rocks underneath. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we got the little smoke spirals kind of going up. 1. And then got one going this way. And then we got another one, the tallest one, kind of coming up and around in there like that. There's our little smoke. That's 3 of them. We have 2 more to go. One that echoes right in there. Another one right in there. You can see how much faster we're going on this one than the other rows that the little flowers we just did. All right, here's our little mountain. There's a little bit of it's not straight. There's a little bit of a curve. So we're going to curve it up to the point and then come down, curve it down. down that way. Ooh, it's a little shaky. All right, straighten it out a little bit. There we go, thickened it up. All right, the tent. Here's I'm gonna bring the tent down, I think a little bit. Let's bring it down a little bit from where I had it originally. It's gonna come down and then out, kind of like that. And then inside triangle right in there like that. Going really quick. I'm trying to, yeah, you might have to catch it on the video. Pause it. There's that one, little stakes on the top. Then we've got the letter V right in the middle, right in there. See the V? And then it swoops out. And then another little V on this other side, like that, the mountain. There's a lot of little detail in here. I'm not gonna, let's see, I guess I'll try to put it in really small, that dark shaded side of the mountain. Because the moon is on that side, on the right side. So the light is coming on this side. Here's my circle. I'm gonna make that a moon real quick. The moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. Oops. There we go. All right, happy. All right, 2 more trees and we're done. So here's that one line. I'll try to get a thick line. That's good. And then one, maybe too thick. It's all right. See, that's just experience with the marker. There we go. That's what I like. Right in there. Yeah, see, I would draw this again, and now I have experience with this marker. Sometimes you need to get that little bit of experience, get to know your materials. But when you're switching from materials to materials, yeah, I would do this like that. And just practice and like, oh, okay, good. Now if I were to draw this again, it would be better. All right, here's my other tree. Watch, this other tree is gonna be better. Hopefully, we'll see. See, oh yeah, there it is. See, I'm using that part of that marker because it has a chisel tip. There's a chisel tip to it. There it is. That's a little nicer. There we go. Ta-da! Let's go camping. Camping time is over. Fall is coming. Unless you like to camp in the snow, which we've done every year. Actually, yeah. Oh man, there was one time. Oh, it was so windy. We were in the Santa Monica Mountains. We were camping up there, and it was like the tents was shaking. Didn't even sleep. Oh, and then it rained on us the following night. It's wild. All right, let's get Woodstock in there. If you remember Woodstock, you weren't there. So the saying goes, I'm not that old, but it's all good. All right, so let's go jump to Woodstock. Let's block them in. All right, so we got our angle here. I might have to lift him up a little bit because I know I want him. Yeah, he's fitting in there. We'll probably lift him up a little bit. Still that same angle right in there. That broom is going to go right in there, that angle. And then his head's going to go right about in here. I can see it, just a circle, oval for his head, and then that triangle shape for that hat. It's going to go right in there. Look at that triangle, that angle. And then the body. And here's a little circle body, and then the broom part. Yeah, it should be right about there. That looks good. It's a little small, but it's all good. And then there's an oval shape for that hat right in there, oval shape. A little bit of an angle. There's a slight angle. It's not totally horizontal. There's a slight angle to it. All right, let's just jump in there and just do this. Let's just do this. Actually, oh, this is important. Why don't we focus on the head? Because if you don't get the head right, you'll be behind. You won't be ahead. No, it's got to get the head right. So yeah, there's 2 parts. There's a circle here that's going under that, and then there's another circle like another circle. It's for the beak, and it's kind of like you want to kind of have this angle to it. Notice that angle, and then this one kind of goes up. I'm noticing this up angle here too. Okay, now here I can already see that it's too close together. I have to take it, bring it up apart. So It's kind of like there, but I'm going to bring it up slightly. And then here, bring it down. And I'm trying to get that angle at there. There we go. That's it, that shape there. Then his eye right about there. Right in there. It's got a similar head to Snoopy. And then it curves in, it cuts into that. And this is where, you know, you have that, if you see the circle, then here it cuts into that circle. Then you've got the body that's below it right in there. And if I'm happy with the head, then everything else is just the support. It doesn't really matter. This is like the most important part of this whole drawing. You got to get this right. And if you don't, that's okay. But it's important because that's like the important part. Like, who's that? It's Woodstock. All right, here we go. So the eye is a little bit of an angle. I'm going to get that little oval eye right in there. I think right in there. It's good. Right in there. And then I'm not talking about the placement or anything, but okay, it goes there. And here's this. And, right in there. That shape. That shape right in there. Then you've got the all right, and then there's the little hair in the back. And this one comes down right there like that. There we go. There's his head. And a little bit of that angle. All right, let's do the hat. I'm going to bring the hat up a little bit higher from my light drawing sketch. I know it's going to go a little bit higher. Right in there. Kind of like that. And then the little point right up there. Bring it down. I moved it over slightly. There we go. There's the hat. I'm going to color it in. I'm going to just while I'm there. And then just stay away from there. So it's just shaded in. It does, I don't know, it does go straight. I would usually, if it was a cone, I would curve it a little bit more. But you know, they break the rules sometimes. There it goes. And then it's all just shaded in like that. With a little bit of like reflected light on both sides. So you leave that little bit of a line around it. And then same thing in here. It's the inside that's shaded. You kind of just like, they leave a little bit of a white or a light mark. It's actually shaded as well. It's actually shaded as well. So if you had like a pencil or something else, let's grab a pencil. Here we go. Instead of leaving it straight white, you can get another value in there, shaded. Let's shade it slightly so it's not completely white. There it is. Well, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. That's a good. It's a good Woodstock. Now I want to see how big the body is compared to the head. I'm making sure that it's looks good. It does. Might have to bring it down slightly. Let's imagine with that little the hair, the cape. That cape is going to be right about there, about that big, comes out that far. I'm seeing how that cape fits in there. And then the body, and then the tail. It's got a big tail. The tail, and then the broom part even further back, right in here, the broom. It's and see all the parts, our little puzzle here. Body, cape, tail, and then the broom. The broom's just two shapes. You get the center, let's see that center broom. And here's our center axis line. And then that with that axis line, finding that center, that really helps with the broom hand, this broom part. So you get this oval shape, and then this kind of like bell shape that kind of comes out. This little bell shape. It's if you want to see it as a little bit, almost a square rectangle, then it tapers out, and it rounds. It's a rounded bottom, the rounded bottom. That's the way it's constructed, kind of like that. There we go. Bring this up a little bit more. Make sure it's on that axis line. That looks good. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with all that. Let's do it real quick. All right, here we go. A lot faster than our flower, of course. There we go. Just throw the cape in here. Boom, boom. Here we go. Bam, bam, bam. A little knot right around the neck. I'll do again, similar shading. It's like you have the outline and then it's shaded on the inside, but they leave a little bit of a gap, almost like reflected light. Makes it look like it's glowing. Right in there. Cape is glowing. It's probably all black, but it's blue in there. There's a little bit of shade of blue. Important to try to get the body shape. Kind of killed it a little bit. It's all right. Rounded. And then we got the two feathers, two wings. We got a wing. Really, it's really shaky, but it's really kind of like a half circle with a straight edge like that. I'm going to simplify it because it is a little wiggly. But basically, that's what it is with one little line in the middle. Put that line in the middle like that. Then the leg kind of shoots over and up. He's got these big feet. There's a little bit of a loop, a little bit of a, yeah, for the foot. Kind of comes out like that. Like that. And he's got like a lot of little lines underneath. He actually has feet. They're not bird feet. These are kind of like more like Snoopy's feet. And that's it right about there. That looks good. I closed up the tail, the back part, but there should be a little bit of a gap. Didn't marker, so I'm gonna have to go in with whiteout if I wanted to fix it. And the tail does taper out like a triangle a little bit, and then it goes out, and so you can tell this is one of probably his older drawings, as his hand was getting a little shakier, but his forms were a lot more definite. Charles Schultz. He was one of my inspirations. I remember liking him, Charles Schultz. Yeah, I was alive when he was alive. And yeah, hearing of his passing, I was like, oh. Then they still kept his drawings going. All right, here we go. Let's do the handle first. Let's get a handle of the handle. Yeah, I'm a punny guy. I'm trying to keep you guys interested at least. So here's that, the thickness, trying to get that thickness of the handle. Right in there, right in there. So it goes through there, see that? Oh, and then we've got that angle, so that same angle as it goes up. Maybe went too far. Yeah, I went too far. It's okay. It should actually just go to right about there and then get closed off. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Where's my whiteout? I didn't have my whiteout. Well, I have some white paint. Probably not a good idea for white paint. Here's my whiteout. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good in the hood. Oh, this is not even. This is oils, water-based oil. That'll take forever to dry.
How come his legs or foot looks so big? Is that wearing a witch shoes or something?
No, that's just the style of his. He's got big feet. He's got big
Oh.
feet. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, he does. He has big feet. And I think I straightened out his nose a little bit. Should be a little bit more rounded, slightly more rounded. So the shapes are very particular. Yeah. All right, let's finish up the broom and we're done. All right, 8:38. First hour, our second hour here. All right, so the broom. I would probably put this the thing that ties it all together. A little part right here. This kind of ties it all together. I'm going to zoom in. And that ties it all together. And then there's like a little bit of a comes out. I would probably even say like an oval shape in here. And then we've got all the little texture kind of coming around like that. There's a little bit of a connector, a little thing there. I'll bring it out and thicken it up just a little bit. And then here's where the little things come out. They just come out like that. There's a lot of shaky ones. They're not so straight. I kind of was doing a straight. Kind of more of a texture than anything. I'm just filling it in. There we go. A little like a bell shape. Try to keep that bell shape. There it is. Oh, I got a tangent. That's all right. Break up some more lines in there. Yeah, coloring it would look nice. There we go. Zoom out. There it is. Oh, he's got a little antenna. Make it into antenna. Use your imagination. Here we go. He's got Google Maps. He's got a, what's that called? Yeah, there we go. And a little bit of color, maybe. Let's see. Where's my colors? Colors. All right, there he is. There's our drawing. All right, we're going to jump into our next drawing. Feel free to continue on this if you'd like. Color it. We're going to do our next one. Our next one, we're going to do the. Let me share my screen. We'll do this really quick as well. This is Jack skeleton, I think. Skeleton. Yeah, it is Jack. And then we get into our skeletons. Yeah. And this is, I guess, was this our third hour? No, this is supposed to be our second hour. We'll break this down. Oh yeah, second hour. First thing, second hour. Wow, we're already getting close to our third hour. We haven't gotten to our little things here. We'll do this one. This one shouldn't take that long. We'll probably skip maybe that. Yeah, and we can do that. That's actually pretty, that's a little more simple. That would be a good break. I'll try to draw that one really fast. And I don't know, we might skip this one. Because yeah, we'll jump into, let's skip that one. We'll jump into one of these. We'll have you choose. And we'll spend the rest of the hour on one of these last drawings. There we go. That's it. We'll let you choose one of those. We can really get into the detail of this. Really get into the detail of drawing these. Even that one. I mean, we're talking about shading and on all that. And this one too. No, that's not one of be a choice. All right, here we go. Let's get to Jack. All right, so it's really simple. Simple, yeah, I'd say that's simple, but it's an oval shape. So, and it's not a perfect oval. So let's annotate it. Let me show you. Here we go. It's really close to a perfect oval, but there's little slight things that are going on here. So if we do put a perfect oval on there, you can see what the difference is. All right, so here we go. There's our oval. Let's move it over. Right in there. Yeah, as if I put a perfect oval over it, you can see it kind of covers it like a. So if you were to do that, you wouldn't be off too much. You wouldn't be off too bad. But if we move it over, you can kind of see it pulls out slightly here, pushes in a little bit here, and pushes in a little bit here, pulls out a little bit on that side. So there's a little bit of a pull, here on these sides. Just really so slight. Really so slight. You can't even notice it with this thickness of this line here. Right. I mean, it's underneath that thickness of that line. See if I can use a thinner line, see if that makes a difference. Let's delete it. Let's go with a thinner line. Let's go with the thinnest line I can make. I think that might be it. No, there is a thinner line. There we go. There we go. Let's try this. See how that looks. Oops. There we go. Oh, look at that. Wow, that is a real thin line. Yeah, we'll definitely see the difference here. Okay, I think that's it. Ooh, that is really thin. Why am I doing this so small? I told myself I wasn't going to do that. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. You can see it pull out slightly on this side. It pulls out on this bottom too. It pulls out on the bottom. See, there's a slight pull from this side. And what I told myself, I said, self, you gotta, when you show these pictures, you got to do it bigger. Copy image address. And when you break them down, that's like we're doing, it's already hard enough. But if we did this and then zoomed in, that would make a little better of a difference. There we go. Wow, that'll even make more of a difference. So here we go. Let's actually, there we go. Yeah, because this makes a perfect oval. Ooh, right in there. Let's move it over. We can see how it's same and how it's different, right? All right, so here's a perfect oval. You can see it pulls out slightly, pulls in on that side. Pulls out from the, pulls out. There's a little bit of a pull, but it's really close to that oval. Now let's break it into parts and then we'll jump into it. So the parts. Let's get thicker lines, at least a little thicker. So if we break it into the half, there's the half. I would say it's probably a little more to the right. No, it's probably pretty close. Let me jump here. Yeah, it's a little bit more to the right, and here's the center here on this side. Notice how big the right eye is, and you have the left eye. It's kind of like a 3/4 view because it's on this the left side. The nose is on the left side of that oval, right? And this center of the face is off center, off our real middle. Bring this one over. Oops. Bring this over. What's happening? It's probably the center right there. And then this one right about there. There we go. You can see it broken down into fourths. You can see how it fits in this quadrant. And then this quadrant, you can also see that there's kind of like an angle, the axis line of this shape would be that way. And this would kind of like, looks like it has an axis line kind of this way. Notice there's kind of like a pull. There's a circle here and there's a pull to it. There, and even the axis lines of the nostrils, these axis lines, these center lines. All right. Let's jump into this. We're losing some people down to 21. Let's get cranking. You can see this. All right, let's just do it. Let's clear all drawings. Yeah, and if you feel free to put in suggestions for next week. Let's zoom out. Let's put this in the chat. All right, you're welcome, Peggy. Good night. All right, here we go. There it is. There's our Jack Skellington. Let me zoom out. Well, actually, let's stop sharing. I can zoom out. All right, let's do Jack Skellington here. There we go. Ready to crank this one out. Woo. All right, so try to get that oval. That's a really almost a circle, actually. It's really close to a circle. So if you get a circle going, and then just add a little bit to the sides to it, it really is almost a circle, just slight, goes out slightly. See, and just slightly, and then a little bit of cheeks, slightly, just really, I mean, just very so slight. We got to break that into fourths. Here's our quadrants. 1, 2. We know that this one is kind of going up. It's kind of like a circle here, really big, and it pulls up right in there. So notice I have my quadrants. Maybe slow down a little bit. Let me get the shape of the head first. I'm already putting in the eye. I'm going really quick. Let's slow down sometimes. Yeah, this eye is really big. This one goes, remember it fitting right in here. And Josh is not here. He would have liked this drawing. Yeah, so there's kind of like a circle shape here, and then it pulls out like an egg. And I'm trying to capture that shape. It's really big. This is the big eye. Right in there, probably a little bit bigger. See, I can add to it like if it was clay. Shade it all in. Get that shape. Let's zoom in. And then this other eye on this other side also has that axis line, which is kind of coming up this way. This axis line, if you can see an axis line, kind of goes up that way. So here we go. This one fits in here, a little bit smaller, right in there, because there's a gap, right? And notice how breaking it into quadrants really helps, because that's in that side, and then this is this side, and we still got the nose to go right in there. This goes right up in there. There we go. See that shape? It's almost an oval, little taper, very slight. Actually, probably not that much. You round it out a little more and shade it all in. It's more like it is like more like an oval. And if it were really slight taper, shade it all in real quick. Noticing my spacing, noticing the height. This one might be a little bit higher. See, I can add to it slightly higher than this eye because it's bigger and closer. I'm adding to it just slightly. I mean, all these are just really slight things. I mean, I put my pencil, you can see it's slightly higher. And so is this one. This one should be slightly higher. This one, lower and higher. The top lower and the bottom higher than this side. It's just those little things. It's the little things. All right, well, let's see. There's a little bag under this one. Where do you want these bags? Right about here. And then the nostrils. I'll let you catch up. Okay, we're gonna do the nostrils. The nostrils are off center right in here. They fit right in there. Both nostrils. One at that angle, one at this angle. Little ovals, although they're not quite ovals actually. They're, if you do ovals, that's great, but there's a little bit of a bump to it. That's all right. We won't be specific. The angles are important. There's those two. Let's get this smile on here. Remember, here's the center, off middle. Here it is. It should be right about there. This is really important, trying to get that center being here off center. This tells us that, hey, he's looking sideways, right? So it's this, kind of like down, and then up and around, up and around. Oh. Oops. Up and around. There we go. Our second hour here. I'm gonna thicken this up right in there, bringing it down. Oops. And down and around, like it's attached. Look at that, coming along. Go around, watch the spacing. There's a little bit of space. I'm gonna bring that up and over. Let's see, right in there. Ooh, look at that. There it is. I'm happy with that. Happy because I'm happy. It's our theme of the night. Happy little sad drawings. Cleaning up all my guidelines.
The Partridge Family sings the happy, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know that. I don't know. They might. No, this is oh, that song that was really big for a while. 'Cause I'm happy.
Pharrell.
Pharrell, yeah, Pharrell. Yeah, the Partridge has songs, and so does I think but yeah, definitely Partridge Family was a family that sang a lot, but the Brady Bunch had a couple happy songs. All right, so now the stitching, the important stitching is right here, right in here. So there's two of them, and it's trying to keep that center. So I'm gonna wait a second, but I'm gonna talk you through this. You gotta find where the stitching is for the mouth. Let's zoom in a little bit. There we go. See, that makes a difference. Let's see what we're trying to draw here. And the two that are the most important are the ones right in here like that, those two. Oh, because it kind of goes there like that. And then there's another one. You can see the spacing, kind of watch the spacing kind of just kind of go out. And the rest don't really matter. The rest just kind of go up with that same spacing all the way up. And then this one over here, just once you have that spacing of that, kind of the rest kind of just fall into place. But see that one, see how it kind of set up all the other ones. This right here, this is the most important part, right? And everything else is kind of like just went in. All right, now we got the triangle neck and the back collar, and we're done. All right, so there's a triangle neck, slight angle to it. It comes down like this. I'm gonna block everything in real quick. I'll block it in. There's that. Looks like it's ready to be teed, like in golf. The bat is gonna be right in there like this, and then there's triangle, and a triangle shape. And actually, let me move this bottle. Kind of comes out that these angles here. I'm trying to see this angle, how it fits. They are curved, but yes, see, it's this kind of like bow shape that's kind of go in there like that. And this side is lower. Like that, and there's curves, but I'm not worried about the curves. I'm just want to try to get the shape in there and see how it's going to fit in there. Just kind of like that. And then I can go in there and let's do this. So here's the neck coming down like that, and this is a bat. There's the top of the bat. He's got little ears. A lot of detail comes down to a point. Ears comes down to a point. And then he's got eyes, these oval eyes, like that, right in there. The oval eyes. There it is. Now let's go left to right. Now here's a little tapered tail. Look at the tapered tail. So it's the top, and it's like a little roller coaster. So same roller coaster comes up and then down like that. And this is the tapered tail. Goes down like that and does taper, but it tapers down back to that point. Oops. That's all right. I'm changing it. And a little circle, half oval there. Yeah, I'm changing it. It's all good. It doesn't matter. What's important is the face. This, nobody's going to know that unless you're the actual artist. Say, hey, it's there's that. So there's the left side. The bat wing is a collar. It's actually very creative. And then it's got the little wrinkles here. 1, 2, and 3 on the left. Let's go to the right and try to get that backwards roller coaster up and taper it to the point. Turn around, bring it down. Have an oval there. And then this curves out. That curve, there it is. And then the 3 wrinkles on the right. 1, 2, 3. That's it. And if you want to shade it all in, there's a nice little shade. Let's get let's get the lid out. Sharpen my pencil. This blade. Right here. There we go. I got my pencil sharpened. Just really quickly. Actually, let's go over here. Let's go on my cat. Shading my cat a little bit darker. And there it is. I'm working down my pencil. Getting it to a nice little flat. There we go. So that's it. That'll get me a nice little that edge. And here we go. Shade it all. There it is, Jack. Not too shabby. Hollywood Studios. What's this from? It says Hollywood, Disney Hollywood Studios. And that was drawn by, oh, I can't read that name. Looks like Fletcher. Brad. Out to you, Brad. One of the cartoons. And actually, if you really look, you can actually see he has he has that center line kind of like that goes in here as he sketched it out. And there's a little bit of a shade underneath the neck. A little bit of a shade that actually goes from dark to light. A little bit of a gradient right in there. Oh yeah, that makes it better. I'm going to darken up my eyes a little bit darker in there. That's it. Look at that. Really close to a circle, just a little bit wider. It's not the ratio. Yeah, the ratio is just a little bit wider than a circle. All right, what's next? All right, I think we're going to do an actual skull. Yeah, there's the skull. We're going to do an actual skull here. I really like the way they broke it down. Let me see if we're going to, this is actually going to take a while. We're heading towards the 9 o'clock hour here in Southern California, Los Angeles time, LA. We got this skull here. It looks really funny. There's a lot of stuff happening to it. I'm gonna jump through this real quick. The skull. Yeah, I want to do the skull, and then probably gonna have to skip on this cartoon. Well, I can draw it really fast. That's gonna be a break. So yeah, I'll draw that cartoon really fast, and then we'll jump into your choice. Your choice of these meerkat, I think it's what it's called, a meerkat, a house, and a tree, or these little different landscapes. I'll let you choose, and then we'll finish up the night with one of those drawings. That's it. That's what's on tap. So if you joined us this hour, it's 9 o'clock. If you wanna vacate, that's okay. I don't get my feelings hurt. It's all about helping you. It's all about just practice. It's about the practice. Lessons. The lessons will actually kind of come in because we're really just practice here. You have to kind of go through some lessons. Yeah, the lessons I'm gonna try to get them in this month. I really am. I'm gonna try to squeeze some video lessons, and we'll see. See how I do on that. See if I can by Halloween. Get at least one. That's my goal. Get at least one video, Halloween video. One the lessons, at least one. That's my goal. It's my goal. One video lesson at least. I know I'm going to do more. But I'm going to try to get at least one. All right. Actually, I'm going to share my screen. Let's share my screen because this is actually, I like the way they've broken this down and add that. And that's got to make sure to make it bigger. Is it? Yeah, here it is. That before this one. Yeah, we're probably not going to draw the little giant heads. This one. There we go. So let's copy this, copy image address, put it up here. There's our Jack. There this is. Oh, nice. Okay, so there's two circles, kind of like oval shapes, but they're really close to circles. Slightly ovalish, slightly squared, a little bit squared oval. Just slightly. Notice the overlap. Notice how much they overlap. Notice once you have one shape and you have a second shape, you got to watch the proportions, how big something is compared to something else. One thing we can do is we can, oh, you're welcome, Courtney. All right, Jack. Really enjoyed the Jack. See you next week. All right, good night. We're going to do these lines here. These lines right in here. This, you got to see it as a whole. There's two parts. You got to see it as parts and see it as a whole. So you can see this kind of like this angle here and how it compares. See, now we're comparing both, and that's where we're starting to get the proportions. And you can see them break here, even the proportions. The proportions, this is half, that half circle, and this here. You can see the eyes. There's the eyes. That part, and it jumps from here to that. Look at all this detail in there. Really interesting how they broke it into its parts. The nose, the mouth, right in there like that. The teeth, these are all the teeth actually, all the teeth. And then this is broken down into the center, so you can see that. Actually, this looks like it should probably be out a little more. I would probably right about there. Because I'm looking at the square here and looking at the square here. And what else? Yeah, see, these are two squares right in there. Look at that. Look at that. That's actually pretty cool. Two squares. Look at these four squares. Ooh, that would be actually really interesting. These are really close to being four squares. That four square looks like it's a little bit thinner. This bottom part, or maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, it should probably be closer to the proportions. Even if I mean these are really close to squares. And that's it. Let's see. Let's jump to our mouse. Let's bring this up. There we go. Yeah, and then it jumps into all the detail, all this other stuff. But yeah, you can see the structure. Once you kind of get to this is good. This kind of really just jumps into here. They clean it up. And then the shading. I don't know if we can get to this shading. I'll try to draw this really quickly. We'll do this sketch. I'll draw it big too. I'll draw this big, big. Alrighty, here we go. Are we ready? On your marks, get set, go. So we're going to draw our first circle. Here's our first circle. We're going to draw big. There we go. Let's make sure I am the I got my spotlight. So here's my circle. 1, And then again, look at, this is where those angles kind of help, right? That these angles help to get that second circle in there, that second jaw circle, kind of fitting right in there. Noticing the overlap, that little triangle, that little football shape in the middle. And right about there. I'm doing this in pencil, sketching it out, really sketchy. This is a sketchy skull. There's a difference between a skull and a skeleton. Yep. Skull Island. Here we did a giant skull for a pirate play. There we go. That's good. Probably maybe a little, I don't know, it looks, yeah, there we go. We'll do that. All right, let's get our axis lines in there. Let me ask you a question. There's our axis line right down the major one. There's our major axis line right down the center. Making sure it's symmetrical. And then our circle, we have that middle one right in the middle. Bam, right there. Right there. This is good. This is good. I wish I can give props to who this is. They really broke it down nicely. Really breaking it down into its parts. All right, so then at the top of this, that's where those eyes are going to be. Probably going to raise it up, raise the roof a little bit. There we go. That thickness from there to there. That's looks like it's thirds. Yeah. Then let me see. No, it's a little bit higher. Is it? Yeah, it's a little higher. Right in there. This does look like it's a little bit higher. Trying to find it. Yeah, that's where this shape is, that football shape. Try to get it, I don't know, because it looks, yeah, it goes up a little bit higher above that. Right in there. Come on, let's be clear. What are you talking about? Right in there. Okay, so this one's clear. This one's definite. This one's right in the middle. That line's right in the middle. This one's a little bit above this circle that's down here, slightly above it. And then this one is like right there, right where this football shape, or these two circles connect right there. Should be really close to being the same size. That's why I kind of brought this up slightly. All right. Now we're going to aim for the middle, kind of like the middle here. These kind of should be a square shape right in there, right in there. That's where our eyes are going to go. Yeah, you can see this 4 squares right here. And that's it. Our guidelines. Interesting. And then they start off with circles like right in there. And they're just blocking everything in. They're just blocking everything in. It's all just getting blocked in right in there like that. And then the oval nose right in there, like that. Blocking everything in, and it's all the spacing that's kind of getting put in there. Then the mouth right in there, fits in there, right in that, goes to the center line. These center lines right here, that center of the eyes, that's how wide the mouth is, like right in there. So it's it looks really funny, but what's important is the spacing. All the spacing is correct. See all the where things go. This puzzle of how everything fits. All right, now we're just going to use this as our base, and then we put everything else on top of this. We put everything on top of this. All right, so I'm just going to go put everything on top of this. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, here we go. Where am I going to start? Let's start with the nose. All right, let's start with the nose. The nose is it's actually the cavity, the hole. So I'm going to go up, down. It's kind of like that, and then it's kind of like an upside down heart. Now it's not symmetrical. The left side's a little bit lower, and then the right side's a little bit higher and smaller, just like that. And then we can shade it all in slightly. There's that nose right in there, right in there like that. Ta-da! one down. Let's get the eyes. Now the eye sockets. The eye sockets do go a little wider. They kind of swoop out. So it's here. They're not perfectly round. They kind of swoop out and down like this. And then here. And if I had an axis line, it would actually kind of go like this, right in there like that. So I'm swooping it down a little bit more. Right in there like that. Like that. And it actually drops below our line. Right in there, because that's the socket right in there. And then I'm going to shade all this in like that. Shade it all in. Again, notice that axis line kind of, this is that whole oval shape is kind of like going that way. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and draw this bone that protrudes right here a little bit. This little check mark. And then you've got the cheekbone. This cheekbone that kind of comes out and in right in here like that. I'm going to put a little bit of an angle to it, a little bit of an angle, but it's rounded. See the angle, and it's rounded. And then here it goes straight in. And then bring it down. And here's the mandible. A little bit of a space. And here I'm going to go ahead and do the center of all these teeth, because this is actually I'm bring it down from where it's at. That's just my guide, so I'm going to bring it down here. Here's the center of my teeth. I'm bringing it down slightly. This is, I know this is where my center of my teeth are going to be, but I'm working on this left side. And then here we go. I'm going to go do this part of the eye. We got our ghetto bird flying around right now. So this is the temple right here, the little temple. It goes in and it tapers around. And as I'm drawing this line, I look at this socket right here. I look at the socket and kind of try to like echo it as I go down right in there like that. Bring it down, and then there's some shading in that temple. I'll shade it in while we're doing it now. Just like to do it real quick. There's that eye. And then there's some shading on this side as well. The roundness of that skull. And then here, I don't know, I'm thinking of doing that outside of the skull, but I'll wait for it. So we kind of get the other eye and other stuff in. All right. Yeah, we got our eye in the sky out there right now. There's a little bit of shading in here. This is where it kind of pushes in. I would probably erase all our guidelines before I did the shading. There's this, all the shading in there. All right, so here we go. This also kind of coming at that angle towards the middle, just like that. This other eye has this axis line that kind of goes in like that. So we've got this coming up, and then it pulls out a little more and down, just like the other one on the other side. A little bit of an oval. But here's where the socket is, I guess. Looks like a number 9, like a really big, wide 9. Like that. And I'm going to shade it all in. Shade it in, shade it in. I remember drawing a skull like this as a kid. I'm like, wow, it's like the number 8. And actually, I remember doing that, kind of like a number 8, and then the 2. Some of my early drawings of skulls, and I would draw little skeletons. I would draw them. I would draw like noses like this. They look like monkeys, but and then I would draw like this, because they would look like monkeys. So they were little skeletons. And I remember doing the necks and then doing like little as a kid. And then the teeth would be like this really quickly. There we go. Quick kid skeleton. This one's a little more realistic, taking our time with it. Let's get this temple on this right side. Here's our ghetto bird. I haven't heard my phone. Oh, it's because it's on silent. I have that app. It tells us what's going on. Let's see, where are we at? Oh, there's nothing. Oh, there's, oh. Ooh, yeah, that is a interesting one. Is this one here? No, that's somewhere else. Yeah, it hasn't really. Nobody's posted anything yet. All right. Oh, is that 7:07? No, it's earlier. No, nothing yet. All right. And let me give somebody some feedback. Awesome. There it goes. All right. All right, all right. Let's do this. Other side. Coming down like this and out. I'm not sure how accurate this is. I can bring up my skull. Yeah, I can see it. There it is. Get it. My skull. There we go. Yeah, I suggest or sometime in mid-November, because we have Day of the Dead now, and people still have these skulls. So you can see, yeah, the different forms, and drawing from real life actually would be really good. Oh, look at this skull, kind of goes, the nose goes up above. Huh. The eye sockets are even bigger. Wow, look at that. Yeah, we can actually make the eye sockets bigger now. Oh, now that I see it. Yeah.
Can I see the back of the skull?
The back of this skull. Let me zoom out. Yeah, you
Is
can see-
it a realistic skull? Wow.
It's pretty real. It's pretty real. It's not totally real. I mean, it's made for decoration. Bronze.
Oh, rough.
Yeah, you
So
get
the
really-
back is solid. The back of the
Yeah.
skull is solid all the way down to the base.
yeah, it's pretty accurate. It'd probably taper in a little bit more, but they pulled it out to make that base.
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah, but this is actually pretty real, pretty accurate. See the nose. I have a couple other skulls, but this one's probably the most accurate one. They're mostly like decorative. If you can see the shape, the rounded edges, you can see it's this rectangular shape.
Hmm.
And then yeah, this roundedness. And then this angle here and this angle there, if we were to do the profile.
Hmm.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, it's good to see like models, 3D models, real models. All right, so yeah, following that model, I definitely would probably draw these eyes, these sockets a little bit bigger. I'm going to pull them in. I'll pull them in a little bit more. And pull up the nose a little bit more. That's all good. Right, and then just slightly. Oh, that's why this kind of comes down this way. Interesting. All right, I'm happy with that though. Let's get these cheekbones in on the right side. Let me zoom in again. And get this here. So this cheekbone that kind of comes in here is cheekbone. Trying to see that. So yeah, you do have this ridge or rim right in there. Then you've got the cheekbone that kind of goes in here and should echo the one on the left. Bring it down. Yeah, bring it down a little bit more. There we go. That's it. And then down so far in. I do have my center. This is my center. That's it. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna add some lines coming out this way. I'm gonna kind of taper it out just because I'm following my actual skull. And I'm gonna actually add shading to the top part. And the top part, I'm gonna add a little bit of a gradient. If you can do that, great. So I'm going from dark to light, dark, and then just fade it out to light. There it is. Now I'm going to do the shape of this head. The shape of this head, straighten it out. I'm straightening it out slightly, the sides. I'm straightening out the sides slightly as it comes up. And then the top is really rounded. This is really rounded. It's a really rounded top right in there. Right in there, really rounded. I want to try to capture that form. And then the sides, I've straightened them out slightly. But the top right in there is really rounded. With a little bit of flattening on the sides. There we go, getting there. Shade all this. Go in there, shade all that. Let's add the teeth. I start with the center, get that center. Got to get those teeth to line up the middle. I've got my center line here, my other center line here. Let's start with the two main teeth. That's these teeth right in here. I did lower everything slightly. So there's one tooth here and another tooth there. Got to capture those two main teeth right in there like that. Oops, make sure I capture. Can you give the link to the image? All right, sure. Here we go. Oh, to the skull. Copy that one, put it in the chat. Well, I'm glad that was helpful. Yeah, see, all these would be lessons that would be, yeah. And I'm just kind of throwing the lessons in as we practice.
I like his smile so far. Looks so real.
Yeah. All right, there we go. There's our main teeth. And then we have our two side teeth, and sure they all have names. There's one side tooth, and then after that is the canines. That I know. That side tooth. Those two main teeth. Side tooth, and then you have your canines. These are the canines right in there, little vampires. That's right in there. And then right after that, it just gets smaller. You just go back there. Just put 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, just as it fades back. There it is. That's it. Now we're gonna match. We're gonna match. Each top tooth has a bottom tooth, but the bottom ones are a little bit smaller. So we're gonna see. They're gonna kind of fit in here. Here's my guideline.
Oh, too many.
Putting my guideline back in. What's that?
I have too many teeth in the front.
Oh, all good. Take it to the dentist. An extraction. All right, here we go. So here we go. Let's a little smaller teeth on the bottom, like that. See, here's my W. Right in there, like that, and then just put the other ones in there. I'm just gonna put them in there. I'm not gonna count. I'm not gonna shoot for accuracy. I'm just gonna. It's getting late. Just throwing them in there. So once I have my two, then I kind of see how they all kind of fit. I'm just gonna go to the back. They kind of go up. Then here there is a space. These are two different parts. This is the mandible. This part right here. This is the gap. This actually kind of a little bit of a gap in here as it goes back. Mandible. You can open up your jaw, close it. All right, now we just got to do the shape. So the shape, let's shape this up. It's really just two shapes. There's this shape here, this angle, this line, actually the line, that line, and then this line, and then this line. Right, and there's curves. I'll add the curves in right now, but I want you to see this. This is it. These three lines. 1, 2, and then the bottom 3. So it's these two, 1, 2, and then the bottom. Look at that. Wow. Not too shabby. All right, now I'm going to add the because it's important to see the angles first. And once you have it in, then adding the curves is not that hard because it's just rounding everything. I'm pushing it in and then rounding it out, pushing it in, rounding this out, and rounding that corner out, pushing this in, rounding this out, pushing it in, rounding it out. And look at that. That's a complex shape, but I saw the simple shape first. Bam, look at that. Then start shading everything else. This pushes back. I'm going to shade this little area under the teeth, the bottom teeth. It goes to here. It does have sometimes a little thing right in there. And then shade it right under here. Add some texture lines and all that stuff all around. Bring up some of the shading up in here. It's good to draw skulls. I remember drawing a skull my first year in college. We drew skulls. We drew the skeletal in my life drawing class. We drew skeletons. I never had the class where we actually, because they had them, where they actually went and saw the cadavers. Abracadabras. And we did draw from life, though. We did draw people. It's all right. I'm just gonna have little shadows here. I'm gonna shade all this side. The right side is in shadow, so I'm shading all this in shadow. I'm gonna shade all this. The right side in shadow. Just put a quick little shade in there. A little more shade because the light's coming from the left. Round this out right in here like that moon core shadow in here on this side. Bringing up some of the shadows, giving it more form. Darkening this up. This.
I'm having a hard time doing the teeth.
Oh, you are. Wow.
Not as beautiful as yours.
Ah.
So I have to make it more three-dimensional. There.
There's my teeth.
Okay.
All right, I don't know what else. There's a little bit of just fine tuning. But what's more important is the structure of this and the structure. If you wanted to spend more time on it, you can. You want to practice structure when you're first learning, get the structure in, and then if you want to, then afterwards, because you can practice a lot more structure, get to the next drawing, get the next drawing, really practice the structure. And then once you get your structure kind of down, then you can go in there and say, okay, now I'm going to really focus on the lighting and the shading and really rendering and getting to what we did here. Really rendering the light and seeing the shadows and seeing reflections and all this other stuff, which is that next level, really intermediate advanced stuff if you want to get into that. Yep. You can even color all that other stuff, but yeah. Color. All this is observational drawing. You also want to practice your drawing from imagination because you can actually use these characters, imagine it at an angle, start playing with them, imagine it with the mouth open, and just play with these skeletons, imagine a 3/4 view. And then play with them. A little cheekbone. Make them dancing. They'd have your clavicle, sternum, all these little bones. Make them dance. Rib cage. It's fine. Open it up a little bit. Ooh. Actually, I'm gonna probably go to West Hollywood for Halloween this year. I haven't been there in a long time, definitely before COVID. It's been a while.
What's there?
For Halloween, everybody dresses up and gets really crazy.
Oh,
It gets really wild. There's some really creative costumes though. I really like seeing the creativity that comes out of there. I thought, and then I went there for a few years. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And said, oh, wow, because it was always on Santa Monica Boulevard. And they do like walking around in their costumes, really creative stuff. Some of it political commentary, really funny. I was like, oh, this is funny. Good stuff. And then I go, wow, Hollywood has one too. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I went in 1 year, we went to Hollywood. Never again. Oh my gosh, they were spraying silly string in everybody's faces. And it was so terrible. It was like the worst of humanity. I'm like, oh my God.
Mhm.
Never again. And so, yeah, I'm going to go to West Hollywood.
So you're gonna dress up too?
Yeah, I think I'll dress up. I probably will. Probably will dress up. Yes, I will dress up.
What you gonna be?
I don't know. I have a pirate costume right now, but that's not that creative. I do have one. I have to dig it. Well, I have a couple other ones that I've made. I have a Dorito bag costume, a Dorito bag. I also have one of the Star Wars, the sand people costume that I made. Oh, and I also have, I might even have that one. I might use that one, the old man from Up. I have that as well. All right, finish up your skull. It's 9:30. Let's choose, and we'll do the last, we'll, I guess, get to choose one of our drawings. We have 14 people, hardcore heroes here. I don't know what day of the week. I am gonna have probably, I'll try to get that survey for next
Can you
week.
pull the skull up a little bit, please?
Sure. Have that survey next week to see if we're going to do it the same day, just earlier, or on a different day. See what works best for the most people, especially you people here, hardcore heroes, here for the 3 hours. So yeah, definitely try to get it going for you, so we're not here so long. And maybe just we can actually do it like from 4. I can be here at 4 earlier. Actually, I can be here at any time. I just have to do a workaround, but we'll just do it a couple times. You know, we can do a special, see how it works out. Just I like trying things new, trying different things. See if it works. If it doesn't work, oh well, it doesn't work. Try again. Try something. Try it doesn't work. Okay, try something else until it works. So yeah, definitely these long hours kind of not good. You definitely need to get up and walk and move around. All right, let's get to our drawing. Our next one. Actually, I think I can do it really quick. If you want to continue shading this one, the next one I can do that cartoon. I'll put it in the chat. That face. Yeah, I can do. I'll do this one real quick. Let's do this one really quick. I don't know who this is. Copy image address. I'm gonna put in the chat. The teeth on mine look like chiclets. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't describe it that well. Little chiclets. They are like the shape of the tooth. Well, actually, the shape of the tooth, you do have the it depends. It does kind of if you get the root. I'm looking at my skull here. Yeah, I'm looking at the skull and see how the little gingivitis, that tooth.
So you have to kind of angle it, huh? The tooth.
Angle it. I don't know. I think of them as domes like this, like a tooth like that. It's like a.
But the side, the one on the side.
Yeah,
a
the one on
little
the
more.
side. Yeah, I mean, you can see my little center line. That's getting that center line, and this is just like really quick. I mean, I don't know as far as let me see. I would probably even bring these lines up like this. Yeah, there we go. Because they do attach. It's just bone. Yeah, there we go. That would be a little more realistic, like that. And you probably wouldn't cut off like that. But what's important is the placement and all that stuff. If you want to get realism, you can go in there and start getting it more real. I would probably even erase that shape or form, doing more shading and really bring that out. But that's later. That's later. What's important is the structure, where things go, and then practice, and then you'll be ready. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna. And you
So
feel,
it's kind of like a rectangular.
yeah, it's rectangular. Yeah. Rectangular. Notice how I just like what we did with Woodstock. I'm shading just the inside, and it looks like it's glowing. The teeth are glowing. See, I'm just shading just the inside.
Mm.
Glowing. Let me see. It's that little reflection because the teeth are shiny. The teeth would be usually shiny, and the rest of the skull not as shiny. There's an enamel on the teeth. Oh, if it's a yeah. But as it decays, I'm sure it's all kind of, and then you can actually play with the gaps here a little bit, make some of the teeth crooked, broken. They wouldn't be perfect like that. Let's see, and little gaps. And because I've done this before, I kind of know the shapes and I know like, okay, make it realistic. And this is just your first one. You kind of have to, it does take that practice. All right, I'm going to do the other one. I'm going to do this really quick. All right, so let's do this really quick. So if you want to follow, try to follow along. We got the circle head. We've got the kind of cheeks kind of come out of that. And then there's a beard. There's a beard kind of like that. Right. And here's our eyes. There's one eye there, another eye there. The nose is going to kind of come in there. That's the bottom of the nose. The mustache inside the beard. And then, oh, voila, look how quick that is. And this is added by Ellen. Ellen, are you in the house? All right, we've got, oh,
Yes, I'm here.
yeah, here it is. This is the
Yeah.
one. I was going to
This is
skip.
I'm sorry, it's a self-portrait by Edward Gorey.
Oh, Edward Gorey. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
film on him. I see edwardgoryfilm.com.
But
Interesting.
you can skip anything I put up. It's fine with me.
No, I know. I'm just drawing
Okay.
real quick. I know. I really appreciate that, and I know you told me last time, but I like trying to just be a good little break and draw this real quick. Some people will do it, some won't. That's okay. Let's see. I'm drawing the eyes in, and a little bit of overlap with the pupils here. Small pupil. Little droopy eyes that kind of droop down. Droop down. There we go. Little bags under these eyes. This bag. Now the shape of the nose goes in and out, down. Oh, there it is. Then a nostril that sticks out on the other side.
Wow.
And
Who is that?
this is Edward Gorey. Self-portrait. And then a little texture for the beard and mustache kind of coming down like this. It's really dark in here. Right in there like that. Yep. And these cheeks right in here, and just like the cheekbones from our skull. See, our cheekbones right in there, up and up, up and around. I'd be surprised to see how many people capture this. Then you've got the eyebrows coming up and around, thicken it up a little bit as it comes around on the outside. Here we go. Oh, art night Friday art night in Pasadena. Look that up. Pasadena art night. So if you want something to do, there's trams and stuff that go around. I will be there. I'll be going around. If you see me, say hi. Hey.
Going by yourself?
I'm going, yeah. Well, I don't know, maybe by myself or with my girlfriend. We'll see. Don't know. Yeah, don't be afraid to say hi. All right. Okay, so there's the head and there's the ears. Let's add the ears. Ears, a lot of little details, but it's mostly like an oval shape. And then it comes down, and then there's the little there. You don't see the tragus. The tragus is not there. Okay.
What happens on Pasadena's?
Oh,
art?
so there's a map. If you look it up online, there are a lot of different galleries and museums have stuff that's open. And there's a tram that goes from place to place. It's really interesting. I haven't been there in a while. Different places have different things. You want to go with somebody, don't go alone. Because yeah, you can easily get stuck somewhere, but then you can always get Uber, but yeah. I mean, I'd be willing to go alone, but yeah, it's because I know my area, I know different things. All right, so here's the top of the head. Bring it around, put a little bit of hair on the sides. Real quick. A comb over on the top. And then the beard in. There we go. Watching my spacing. And is it? And then the whole coat and stuff shaded. That's it. Not too bad. How long was that? less than 5 minutes, that's for sure. It was kind of quick. All right, let's do this. Let's do the next one. This one else. Yeah, this is where you get to choose. You get to choose. You get to choose. All right, share my screen. We'll share, pick a number, and then you'll post it in the chat. We have our number one. This is number one, this third hour. It's already 9:40. We'll go till about 10:30. Oh, I was going to review last week's sketch. Oh, I don't know. We could. I was going to have the pumpkin. Yeah, we really didn't do that. We have the lemur. I think this is a lemur. Lemur? Is this a lemur? I'm not sure. There's one. That's number one. You can see it says it here. Number one. This is number one. This is number two. The house. This is number two. This is number three. This tree. Number three. By Richard Hodel of Canada. And then we have, this is number three, and then we have 4, 5, and 6. This is number 4, then number 5, and this is number 6. 4, 5, 6. All right, so at the count of 3, get ready to put it in the chat. We have 9 of you here, hardcore heroes, minus myself. Something in the chat already. Oh, okay, I'm not going to say the numbers. I don't want to skew anybody. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Put it in there. Don't look, just put it in. We have 5. You have 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And our votes are in. We have 2 for number 1 and 1 for number 2. So by 1 vote, we're doing the lemur. All right, we're doing lemur. We'll spend a half an hour on this one. There it is, number 1. There it is, our winner for the night. All right, let's break it apart. Let's break it down. I'm gonna copy image address. If you're leaving us, say, I don't want to draw that. That's fine. We'll see you. Or if you want to catch it on the video, I'm posting them right the next day. Whoa, that's nice and big. All right, so big thing. So let's draw the circle. Let's see. Let's block this out. Definitely the circle. So let's see how that circle fits on there. Let's see, here's our circle, the circle head right in there. Notice how it fits in our circle, Let's put a little bigger. Wow, it's a lot of action here tonight. Yeah, I can't wait to put these onto videos. That way I can put this, I'll put this drawing here. Look at that, look at how it fits there. Boom, look at that. There's our circle. All right, I voted for number 2, but I think I wanted number 1. I forgot which was number 1. All right, cool. So 3 for 1. Please post the lemur link. Yes, the lemur. How do you say that? I'm saying like it's getting late. I'll post it. Actually, yeah, I can't post it right now. I think I can. Yeah, just make sure it's to everyone. There it is. Bam, there it is. Lemur. There it is. That's how you pronounce it. Lemur. Thank you. All right, so there's the circle. You can see that. And if we were to do a cartoon of it, we could do that, or we can make it realistic. You see, this is how we can break it down, make it cartoon.
I always vote for cartooning.
You always what?
I always vote for cartooning.
You felt?
Vote. I always
Oh,
vote
vote.
for cartooning if
Oh,
you're picking a vote. But there's a lot of other people who like realistic.
Yeah, they want the realistic stuff. Yeah. Yeah, we've done the cartoons for, I know we lost a Springer. She goes, doing too many cartoons. It's all good. But yeah, I can see the ears and how they connect. Let's find the center of that circle. You know, there's cheek and stuff here too, but that circle really fits really, look at that top of that head. And then let's break it down. Okay, I gotta find it. Here it is. There it is. Right in there, right there, right there. That center of that eye, and then it drops below. But where that eye is, yeah, the reflection, all this stuff. I mean, all this stuff is really nice. You can spend time on that or keep it simple. But this is, yeah, it all depends. I really want to shoot for helping people just, I mean, the beginners, intermediates, all this really just takes time. It's doable. if you really wanted to put in the time and do all that. All right, here, let's get my lines in here, right in there. There's my axis line here. If you want to take a screenshot or if you want to take a picture of this like that, there we go. Might have to sneeze again or cough. Ah, here it is. And then we can break this down really simple. You have this shape here. Look at that. And it's a little house shape, like a little house shape here. The eyes, the center of the eyes. Right in there. The top of the eye. Right in there, bottom. Right in there. Ooh, notice how it's right at the top of that right there. And then there's all this little detail and stuff. Even this stuff right in here, this shape of this, the dark part, this dark part. Votes for cartoons. And we should have that as another vote. But you see, that's where I got to do a form. I really have to do a form. Let's see if I can get it in next week. I have that painting and I have two other things where we can do a form and see which is the best night and what you want to actually, what your purpose is. Because my purpose is to help those who help others, who want to help others. Like say, I want to learn how to draw because of this. So if I get to know you better, say I'm like, all right, cool, let's work together and challenge and because there's struggles, overcome these struggles, figure them out, and what you're struggling, what you're trying to do, especially if you're trying to get to a little more realistic drawing or whatever you're trying to do. Oh wow, scratchy throat. All right, one more shape. I think there's a little circle shape of the nose. You should be able to see this one right here, right in there. That one, look at that, bam, right in there. So yeah, that's broken down pretty much. You can see these other circle shapes for the eyes that are kind of in there. Lemur. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Oh, let's do it in my sketchbook. Let's do it in the book. Take a look. It's in the book. It's Reading Rainbow. Put this under here. Let's stop sharing. We should take a stretch. A little stretch break. Yeah, little. Bring out my drinks. Ice. There we go. All right, let's start off with our circle here. So I'm going to draw that circle pretty big right there. There's our circle. And it's a sketch. Sketch it. It's really furry. So I mean, see, it's a furry animal. Zoom out a little bit. There he is. So, then we've got our axis lines. Let's get our axis lines on our circle. Right in there like that. Our last drawing for the night. It is going to be 10 to 10. We'll spend I don't know, 15, 20 minutes on this. Call it a night. All right, there we go. All right.
Sorry to cut you off earlier. My phone died.
Oh, it's all right. It's all good. It's all good. It's just practice. It's all just practice. It's not a little bit of lessons thrown in, but nothing major. All right, we're gonna put the little house in here. It's like two little angles, and then this coming down like that, right in there. Because once we have our axis lines, it kind of breaks our shape into its parts.
Did you decide to go realistic?
I'm gonna push it as much as I can. We'll see. I don't know. A little bit of in between.
Because I thought maybe after you finish doing realistic, you do a really super fast cartoon one.
Ah, maybe. Let's see. We can try. That's a good idea. We got that circle for that nose right in there. We got this, let's see, the eyes. I remember dropping a little bit below our center. Right in there. Dropping a little bit below our center, right in there. And then it's kind of the dark part. And I'm just sketching it in. Right in there, this dark part. Right in there. And then, yeah, definitely there's an angle in here. Okay, so now I've got where my eyes are going to go, more or less. Really close to the center of this. They do drop slightly. And then there's the dark part that goes around it. Right in there, sketching it in. And all this nose is going to be really dark. All this is going to be dark. Little house with the mouth. Interesting little mouth. Do a little bit of shape. I'm already adding the shape. But here it does really kind of come out at an angle here. This little shaping of this cheeks and like angles out like that. And then you have a little more fur on the bottom. Yeah, the body. Then we've got the ears to kind of come up right in there. One ear in, one ear out the other. All right, that's pretty much it blocked out. There's a line right in here. This is where the dark, all that dark is. All right, I'm gonna start off with this left eye. I will kind of shoot for a little bit of realism, a little bit. So it's this circle shape. There's a little bit of a lid, but I'll make it almost perfectly round. It does drop a little bit below our center line. There's our left eye, really pretty round. Got it right in there. Let me zoom in. Let's see what I have. Now what I'm gonna do, there's a thickness for the eyelid, right? So for the top eyelid, there's a little bit of a thickness. So I'm going to add that thickness right in here. And right as it comes down like this, all this is thickness. And I'm going to darken all that right there. That thick, darken that up right above that eye. And then there's a little bit, all right, so there's that thickness there. Should I do the other eye as well? Yeah, let's do the other eye as well. There's a little bit of an almond shape as it comes in slightly where the right in here, slightly. Let's draw that other circle on the other side, do the same thing. So we got that circle. Let's try to match it up, the top with the top, the bottom with the bottom. And then off the center, it looks like mine's a little bit closer there. I don't know, maybe we can move our center line over. Yeah, you can make those adjustments and see the distance between the eyes. Get that distance. Get this as round as possible. All right, let's get that top eyelid, the thickness, because that thickness, there's a thickness to this top eyelid. And get that thickness as it comes up and around. Yeah, the Pasadena Art Night. Then there's something else. You have to buy tickets for this other one. It's in downtown. But the other one is free. There's tomorrow on Saturday. There's orchestra. Yeah, it's a meetup. There's an orchestra meetup in Santa Monica. Santa Monica. All right, I'm gonna bring in I'm gonna actually this little pull in a little bit of a triangle right on the inside where the aqueous, the little aqueducts gonna come in.
The art show in Pasadena, is it tomorrow?
Yeah, it's tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow. They have a website. I should look it up. Art night.
Or
Art
it's gonna, it's not gonna be easy to find parking then.
No, actually, yeah, actually, it's not too bad because there's a Art Night Pasadena Fall 2022. There's a trolley. It's from 6 to 10 p.m. Art Night Pasadena. Art Night is an ongoing partnership among many cultural institutions. The Armory, a Room to Create. There's different places. The Art Center. Yeah, and Raymond, they've added that. Wow. Art Center, Mullen Gallery on Arroyo Parkway. Yeah, you can, you don't have to go to all of them. You can, Pasadena City Hall will have stuff. Actually, I should share my screen. Let me see, here we go. So this is the cityofpasadena.net, Art Night /Art Night. You can see that, Art Night.
Art night, Pasadena, okay,
And yeah, it's
6 to 10.
masking and backs requirements. So you can click on that. From 6 to 10. Fabulous lineup of artists from near and far, art, music, food trucks, crafts for the kids. That's here at the, yeah, you'd have to look at the details. I'll put it in the chat. Copy. I should pause.
How long does it take you to drive to Pasadena?
Me, 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I'm really close.
Yeah, I could do it in 2 days.
You could stay at my place.
Well, thank you. Whenever you're on the Oregon coast, you can stay at mine.
I have 2 spare rooms. You could come and go to the Rose Ball. Rose Bowl parade.
Rose Bowl. Yeah, nice. All right, all right.
Coast.
I'm already here. I actually would like to travel. I'm gonna be traveling myself. We'll see. Once I finish these little projects, then I'm thinking of traveling here and there. All right, so there's the Art Center. It's got some places. I put it in the chat. Boston Court, Pasadena. Wow, look at that.
Pasadena, where is that?
I know.
Boston
It's
Court.
it's a Mentor, 70 North Mentor.
Never seen
You
it.
know what this is? This is next to the, I think this is next to the, I'm sure it's next to the Civic Center where they have the America's Got Talent.
Oh,
Oh, look at that. Boston Court, Pasadena. Oh, look at that. Art Night. And yeah, definitely. Oh, there's performances. Wow. It's going to be a lot.
those, are they free? No.
Yeah, all this is going to be free. All this is free. Yeah, you can see the performance time, 6:45, 7:30, 8:15, 9 p.m. Last performance lasts about approximately 20 minutes. Art Night hybrid. Yeah, there's a lot of links that we can just be on here for quite a while. See which one.
Oh.
Yeah, to see it all is really hard.
I'll be going by myself if I go.
Yeah, in the Pasadena Museum of Art History, there it is, that one. There's going to be one food truck. Red Handed Press. All these places are going to be open. The Gamble House. The Gamble House is really nice. No, it's mostly architecture. The USC Pacific Asia Museum. Central. This Remainders. Creative reuse. Oh, that's pretty cool. Information.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty lively. All right, back to the drawing. Back to the drawing.
Thank you for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, let's finish this one up. All right, here we go. Let's do this. All right, so I've got my eyes pretty close. Right on the line, right on the axis line, right above the center of this circle is the pupil. And it's not a solid pupil. I'm gonna just put one little line and rounded bottom like that, because there's reflection on here. There's a lot of reflection. So I'm gonna kind of leave that as a reflection, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just shade everything really quickly. A little bit of shadow right under the eyelid, and then all this down here. And I can actually, just by looking at it, I can actually already add the texture, add some texture, add different stuff just by I mean, it's almost automatic. I would say it's almost automatic for me because just my experience. But you can see just how I kind of added that. And here I'm pushing this a little bit more here to make it rounder. And I'm kind of like, as I'm going around, I'm kind of like giving it that roundedness on that eye. So there's a lot of things that I'm doing as I'm doing it to make it look kind of real. Let's see here, just that texture and stuff that I see. All right, so there's that. The bottom eyelid is a little bit thinner, so you have that dark line at the bottom, and then there's a little bit of like a rim, little rim that kind of actually goes all the way around here, and then another thickness. Right, okay, so once you have that rim, I'll give you a little chance to do that rim as it comes up to the that little triangle part of that eye. This is the little almond shape, because it was circle, and then I pulled out that little almond shape right in there, like that. All right, so now I'm going to add a texture here. I've got my highlight, the bottom lid highlight right there. I can tone it down a little bit. It's really bright. Right in here in this area, it kind of should be kind of like this in this area right in there. Right, so I'm gonna go around all in here, this shape. What is this, like a triangle shape? And it's not really solid. It's not really solid. It's all hair. So all this is dark hair right in here. All this is dark hair. Kind of like coming in there. So I need to get me some bee pencils, get a little bit darker in there. All I'm using is this HB, some darker bees. All right, let's get that top eyelid now too. So there's this top eyelid. The top eyelid, we did make that thickness. Notice that thickness there. And then we've got the top eyelid over that. And that's thicker. See, the bottom is closer and a little bit thinner. The top one, there's that thickness of darkness, and then a little bit thicker lightness as it comes up and over, like that. And then it's dark again. And there's a whole shape of darkness in here like this. This is the that shape that kind of comes down around like this here, right in there. And all this is dark. All this in here is dark. All that texture over it right now. I just want to show you this shape. This whole shape right in here, this shape. And it's a soft shape. It's not solid like I'm doing it here. It's the hair that kind of runs through it. And this, I'm going to shade this, push this back a little bit. Shade all this. And then now I can actually put hair on top of this. Seeing the hair kind of, little lemur hair. And this kind of breaks up that. And I'm just going on top of that shape. The shape is still there, but you see now I just got all this little hair over it really quickly. Boom, boom, boom. Quick texture. Yeah, this is more advanced. So do the best you can. I'm working this in a little bit. I'm working this hair up, as it comes up right in there. There it is. There's that eye. Just got to do the other side. Aye. Zoom out. Take a look. See how it's looking there. I probably pulled it out too much right here. It's okay. Push this in. Got my space in the middle. Got this eye is looking good. We can zoom in on this one now. Up there. Again, right where that center is, that line, bring that over right in the middle. Do the same thing. I'll start out with a little circle this time. A little circle. And then bring it up. Right up like that. There's that kind of reflection. Because we know it's rounded, but you know, it's the reflection that's kind of messing with that shape of the pupil. There's like reflections and all kinds of other stuff that I'm just gonna like really quickly, like it's darker right here, and then it gets lighter, and then it gets darker again. And I do that really quickly, as I can see it. And I'm just shading it really quickly, just to do it really quickly. It might take you longer, and that's okay. A little bit of a shadow, bring that down, softening that up. And get this dark around the eye. There, a little push that in a little bit, that little almond shape. And then here we go again too. So right in here, this we have that dark, and then there's a really close line right in there, a really close light line. I'm trying to keep it light, just like on this left side. There's a light right in there. Same thing on this side. It's that light kind of comes up in there, and then it's dark as it comes out. And I might have to push this in, make some space. All right. There's that space. Yeah, and I can get some gesso. I need to get some gesso. I'll go to the art store tomorrow too, since I'll be in Pasadena. I'll go to the art store, grab some gesso. Use my gift certificate. All right, so there's that. Let's do the top eyelid again. You got that thickness. This one's a thick, dark spot, just like the one on the left. This thick part is dark, right above that, and then there's that eyelid, like that. Bring it down and around, and it does kind of blends. This one blends into that one, and this kind of goes over that. So notice how it kind of like shoots in, and then this one shoots over like that. And it should match the one on the left, right? This thickness, that eyelid right there. See, you can draw anything, breaking it down into its parts. It takes a little bit of practice. Let's soften this up a little bit, darken this a little bit, slightly. Now I know I'm going to do the same thing as I did to the left side. That dark shape comes up right in there, comes down. Try to match the left side, and then all this is going to be dark in here. All this is going to be dark. All that dark in there. Oh. The eyes are looking good. Aye, aye, Captain. I can't hear you. All right. Oh, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? Oh. Square pets. All right. Oh, let's see. This side's a little bit lower. I'm just checking my symmetry. Bring this side a little bit lower. I can't hear you, kids. I can.
What is it? Aye, Captain.
Yeah, I can. Oh. All right, so there's late hours here, 10:08. I'm getting that texture in here. I got my shade in there, and it does actually go a little bit darker in here. It does go a little bit darker, and it does say lighter up on top. I mean, you can really, if you really get that form, it's a little bit of even darker. I wish I had that. I gotta get some, and I gotta dig them out. I do have some B pencils. Get this area. I would get this area darker even here still, to give it a little bit more form, like right in here, get really darker. And then all the little hairs on top is just, it's just like boom, boom. Look, I'm just throwing them right in there. Bam, bam, bam. I'm getting a direction and just like putting it in there. What was fun was that I know that hairy character, where's he at? That character, a lot of people, I show it to people and they're like, oh, get it. Like, oh yeah, that's from our class. That's let's see, there's this day here in this sketchbook. Wow, we filled up a sketchbook here. Yeah, there he is, that one. The same textured lines with that character. Yep. Yeah, you see, you'll be able to look at our YouTube and you'll see that picture, and then yeah, I gotta break it down. All right, there's the eyes. Eyes have it. Let's make this a little bit bigger. I'm trying to make it symmetrical. See, I think I have to put a little more space in here. Adding those textured lines. And then bringing this back up a little bit more. And then probably erasing some of this because I went too low in here. Now I can add that texture, that kind of the hair. That kind of goes up in here. All this is dark, this whole dark area. But I'm trying to capture, I need to try to capture, at least make it realistic, because it opens up right here, it's closed. And then it actually, there's a little bit of a gradient, which means a gradual change. It opens up, it's a gradual change. I can actually go in here with my eraser, soften this edge up, soften it up. Yeah, see that, there we go. And I can open it up more. So I can add little like hairs like that. There you go. So open it up. There it is. So it's not like a solid line, like a bowl cut or something. There it is. Yeah, I'm building it up, Let's see. Maybe some of these hairs down. And you can probably even put some of these hairs in there a little bit. Yeah. All right. That looks good. It looks good, looks good. Bring this out. Actually does fade out. I'm going to fade this out. The ear, inside of the ear. Well, no, let me zoom out a little bit. Let's bring in this other ear. So this other ear, it's light. I'm just gonna kind of outline it. There we go. And then a little bit of shades because it is white. Just gonna add a little bit of shades in there, and then blend it into I'm blending it into the dark area, that hair, the top of the head, and blend it in a little bit where you don't see where it starts or stops. I'll just kind of blend it in there. Same thing on this side. I'm gonna make a little bit of an edge here, and then the rest just blend it out into the ear. You don't know where it starts or stops. There's no definite line, definite edge. It's just all this hair kind of blending out into that hair. I'm going to outline it a little bit of outline. Just like that. Like that. Some more hair on this side. All right, almost there, 10-12. All right, now the nose. Let's focus on the nose. All right, so get all this outside part, try to get all that. Hopefully you're not struggling too much. Or if you're having fun with the shading, the hair, that's a little hairy little creature. Getting a little more realistic here. All right, let's do the nose. The nose. All right, so even though it's a little house, it does push in slightly right in here. It does kind of like push. Here's the rounded part. It pushes out. And then here, the mouth part, it does curve here. Look at. Put that in there like that. There's more of an angle. There's that circle shape. And then half of it, we'll put half a moon there because that's all going to be dark right in there like that. There we go, half a moon. For that nose part. All that's going to be dark. And then there's the bottom lip or bottom part of the mouth. So it kind of just echoes like that. 1, 2, and 3, like that. 1, 2, 3. Right, and it's all dark. There's little hairs pointing out of it, which is going to be really cute to do. All right, I think that's it. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's see what's going on here. All right, so in here the edges are pretty sharp. They're sharper. They're not as soft as these other sides. Well, that's sharper in there, but even this should be actually softened up. You soften it up there. See, I just softened it up by adding those lines there. And here goes dark again. But yeah, this edge is kind of really dark right in that dark edge. See, I left that light in there. Let's go right in there. The top of the nose is light, and it does, I'm bringing this out right in here, and I'm trying to keep this light top of the nose. I'm blending all this in here, the sides, and the top, dark, and then here the top of the nose is light, but it's not white, it's just, it's off-white. So I'm going to shade it down, there it is. Oh, like that. All right. And then it goes light around it. There's light. Okay, I'll let you do that. I'm going kind of fast. So go ahead and get that's the nose. It's, and usually there's probably nostrils in here, but it's too dark to tell. All right, so now from here we're going to go light. There's like a light that goes around this area, almost like a parentheses or a little upside down rainbow that goes, and that's lighter. That's lighter right there. And in the middle, it goes dark, and you want to just keep that light area as it comes up around, and all this is dark. All the rest is just dark. I'm going to shade it all one shade so you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, you want to keep that little, and we can blend it in afterwards, blend it in slightly because it's not totally white. But all this I'm going to shade. There we go. I want to shade all, even the bottom. There we go. Shade it all in. Nice even shade. There it is. There's our base tone, our tone. All right. Now I'm gonna let's push this a little bit more. I'm gonna close this up. I'm gonna shade this down a little bit. This it is a little bit lighter, but oh well. Right in there, shading that. Now I'm going to push the shading also a little bit more, like right in here, right? Actually, let's push the shading in first, the bottom lip. So the bottom lip or the bottom jaw, all this is the darkest dark right in here. Right in here, this is your darkest dark. Right in here, right where the split is, and then you want to bring that down. You want to bring that shading down. That shading, you want to bring it down, down, down. And then slowly lighten it up as it comes down. But this whole edge should be like an edge. It should be an edge, right? There's no line there. We just got rid of that line. We made it an edge. There it is. And then now, see that edge? Now I'm going to go darker up in here, but I'm going to leave that light. I'm going to do, this is going to be soft, but this whole area right in here, right above this is going dark. Right above this is going dark. I'm going darker in here, and I'm going in circles because I want it to be soft. I'm going to make all the edges soft. It's just going to be kind of like the, exactly like the Woodstock, where we're going dark and then keeping that outside kind of light. See, this pushes this back, and this makes it look like there's a reflection, but it's just like Woodstock. Just like Woodstock when we did Woodstock today. And you can see that there's now there's like a little bit of a glow, but I'm keeping the edges, pushing the darkness on the inside, but it goes to the light, right? Goes to that light. There it is. All right, let's add some hairs, some nose hairs here. There's one here, one here, out, another one there. They're pretty even as they go out, right in there like that. And then we've got some on the chin, right in here, 3, 1, 2, oops, 3. And then some here and there. 2, 3. On this side, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and shade. Ooh, too close. I'm going to go ahead and start shading this whole body. And so I'm going to outline it. I'm outlining it right in here. Well, actually, I'm going to take a little break. Take a little break so you can see what I'm drawing. Let me zoom out just slightly. And you can see how it's coming along. Ready?
Looks so real.
Thanks. All right, 10:20. I'll try to finish this up in the next 5-10 minutes.
It's 5 It's not gonna be that.
Oh, somebody asked, so what pencil I'm using? I'm using HB pencil. And when Elijah starts traveling, he can zoom and we can do landscapes from all the places he visits. Yeah, it would be cool. It would be like when I was doing Mobile Mondays. That would be interesting. Huh, that would be interesting. Hey, we're live here in Utah or Vermont or wherever. Vehicle crashed into a pole. Oh, that was earlier. Let's see. I'm just saying, didn't it? All right, let's finish this up. Quick break is over. All right, so there is darkness around here, this other value, and it's all in here. See, it's actually really soft edges, really soft edge. All this in here is a lighter shade, but all in here, I'm gonna just go ahead and shade it all in here like this, all this area. And that pushes the hairs down a little bit so they're not so prominent. Right in there. And I can still even put some on top, not so tight. And here it's tighter as it comes out. All this, I'm gonna go really as light as I can right in here. I'll push all this back so it's not totally white, even though it is white. Oh, that's white, but it's in shadow. Pushes that back. See it here? I see this edge right here. I'm gonna soften this up. Push that a little bit softer. Try to soften that edge up. There we go. There. That's it. It's looking for that stuff and knowing what to look for. You see it, look back. I'm looking back and forth, and I see this dark spot in here. There's another little dark spot. It goes a little bit darker, and it's all blurry. All this is blurry, so I'm just gonna go ahead and shade it all in real quick. It actually goes darker. It actually goes darker in here. All this whole body is actually darker. So I'm going to say the body comes out this way. And this whole area right in here, let me soften this out. This actually has to soften out as it comes out. Softening it up. Softening it up. See, so it goes from this dark area that I had, and I'm softening this whole area. Feel free to rewind it and see the before and after. But you can see it here. It's all, I just softened that whole area. I had that area softened, and this whole area here is going to be dark now. I'm going to darken this whole area here. Especially right in here. It's dark. This is dark too, but the light's hitting it. The light's hitting it, so actually it's dark. It's all part of that body. All right, there it is. I think that's it. If I really wanted to, I can get a little bit of shade in the background. That'll make him pop or her. I'm gonna really quickly, let's see if I can, no burrs. Try to get a smooth shade for the background so it doesn't get confused with my lemur. lemur, all in one direction. Yeah, it's really, will make it pop. This whole background, all this white, getting rid of all this white background, making the drawing pop a little bit more, and then just try to blend it all in. I'm gonna blend it all in. And then into the scribble. Wanted to, I can soften it up with that, but I don't like doing that. This pencil's kind of hard. I think I need it. Yeah, definitely. And I do have them. I just need to bring them out. And then if you like it, sign it. Put the date. I love you.
Ay, Eladio, this has been the hardest and my ugliest work.
Well, I'm glad you took on the challenge.
I'm just being honest.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Ugliest work, that's funny.
Don't be so hard on yourself. I mean, it is a tough one. That's why this is the last drawing of the night. I'm glad you're here trying to taking it on. It could have been, maybe I didn't describe it. I might have missed something, or I don't know. Let's see. Try to break it down as much as I can.
Because it's the last for the night. We're gonna end up having a nightmare dreaming about it.
His eyes glaring at me. All right, let's see if somebody asked for a cartoon. See if I can do a quick cartoon of it. All right, let's see what this. If I can do a cartoon of it. All right, here we go.
Wait. Let me take a picture first.
All right.
Wow. Got it.
Zoom in.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. All right, let's see. Cartoon. Go down, zoom out. All right, so if I were to do a cartoon of it, definitely the big eyes, the big round eyes. Oops, there we go. And I would probably put them a little closer together as a cartoon. That'll exaggerate the eyes. I'll do one eye a little bigger than the other. Then we got the pupil. So we got definitely the pupil will go up a little bit higher. And a little bigger. And just like a half a circle up here, half a circle. It's really just a half a circle, and then I don't know, little bumps on the top, but yeah, half a circle. Yeah, that's good. Let's do those big eyelids. We got big eyelids, so we do big top eyelid, big top eyelid. Let's split it in half. And shade that in. Split it in half. Shade that in. And then shade all this in. Actually, I'm going to keep a highlight. Let's cartoon highlight too. A little triangle on both sides. Then I'm going to shade all this in. Add colors, I color it. There's my eyes. Here's my nose. And I know the nose, actually I'm going to do a triangle nose, because it is kind of like a triangle. Like that. And then I'm going to put, here's my little house. I'm going to put a little bit of smile on them. And actually, let me see. I really like this. I don't know. Hard to put on a smile. See, I wanted to put a smile on him. Might have to, because he really looks surprised. Well, I don't know. I got this little ghost kind of like shape. And I'll just, I guess, shade all that in. Ghost shape. And then now here we're going to go ahead and do the outline, dark outline. Dark outline, copy it. I'm going to make it like a egg shape or avocado, pointy. And then I'm going to shade all that. Just shade it all in. Shade it all in. All right, feel free to put questions in the chat. Or if you, what you liked, what you didn't like. I know some people have liked that, those quick drawings that we did the other day. That's good. That we did actually I've been speeding some of them up. Like that one we did today, I did a quick speeding of that film guy, whatever that was. And then this one, request cartoon of the lemur. Lemur. Ah, lemur. There we go. All right. And so-
Eladio, I have a
Yeah.
thought.
uh-huh.
You were talking about doing a trip. Maybe have your students come along as a group trip.
Ah, a group trip. Wow. Where would we go? Let's like
Go places that we can do drawing.
uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah,
Yosemite or
oh, that'd be great. Actually, it might be possible. Yeah, that's a whole. There's something called ETF tours. They do tours, school tours. We can get if we get a bunch of people that want to go and have like an art thing. That would be interesting.
yeah, that
Alright,
would.
sure.
I'll be first one to sign on.
All right. Camping, the whole deal. That's quite a mission there. All right, so there's the bottom lip. I want to try to make him, I don't know, try to make him happy. That's okay, let's get that. He looks more surprised than anything. And triangle ears. Triangle ears. A little bit of dark top. A little bit of hair on the inside, hair on the inside. That's an ugly cat. Or like my friend's nephew saw a possum, and he was a little kid. He's like, "Oh, here, kitty, kitty," to the possum. Oh my gosh, that's an ugly cat. It's a possum. Oh, okay. Here, kitty, kitty. I couldn't get that smile on. He looks like he's a worried Garfield. Let me see. Let me thin him up. I think I can do that. Let me see. Let me see if I can thin him up. I don't know what the body looks like. I'd have to take a look. Let me see if I can make him happier. He's got his eyes going down this way. That's why it kind of makes him look, his eyebrows, makes him look like he's sad. That's all right. I think that's the best I can do. It's already 10:20, 10:32. All right, we'll call it a night. If anybody wants to share, feel free to share. If you don't, that's okay. I know these were tough drawings.
I am not sharing.
That's all good.
I'll
Oh,
I'll
I need
share
my
mine.
teacher to fix my work.
All right. All
I'll
right.
share mine.
I got Jessica's hand up first, so let's go over there and see. Hey, Jesse. That's there you go. What you got? Oh, look at that. You got it. All right.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Awesome. Wow. That's really good.
Like a cat.
It reminds me of a character. I can't remember your cartoon one. Yeah, who is that? Oh my gosh, it'll come to me later. Oh, you know
Looks
what
like
the cartoon looks like that. Huh?
it kind of looks like a bat a little bit, lemur bat.
Yeah, it does. They're mammals. They're both mammals.
Oh,
Yeah, because of the darkness around the eyes, and there's probably some kind of similarity. Some kind
yeah. This is super fun. Thanks a lot.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, glad you enjoyed it. Awesome. All right. Ooh, there's Christy. Hey, Christy, I haven't seen you in a while. There you are. Oh, look at that. Wow.
Beautiful.
It was fun.
Oh, great. I'm glad you enjoyed.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Oh, you're welcome. All right. Anybody else? Is that it? Questions, comments, complaints?
Maybe mine needs to book on.
Oh, might be. It's all good. There you go.
I don't know.
Cute.
Yeah, it's cute. You got it.
No, it doesn't look so bad from far away, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something weird about it.
Little proportions, little shadings. Yes, it's all about the practice. The brand, somebody said that, oh, the brand. Oh, there's your skull. Awesome.
It came with too many teeth.
I know what you I feel it too.
Yeah, spacing. I didn't really mention the spacing too much. I just got the main teeth and then I just put everything else in, all the teeth in. All right, what pencil? Somebody asked about the pencil. I have a it's not, I don't know, it's a Prang. Prang is the brand. Prang outline drawing. It's not a big.
Okay, Hilario, but I wanted to share my flowers because I am so proud of my flowers.
Hold on. Oh yeah, let's see. There you go. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, really nice.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll share my skull.
All right, sure.
I want to see them.
There you go. Wow.
Nice.
That's done.
Yeah.
I had a hard time working on the teeth.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's smiling. That's cute.
Yeah, it looks happy.
I was trying to do what Ladio was doing. Smile.
Oh, somebody said he is so happy. Oh, look at there's that. Oh yeah, there you go. There's Jack.
Snoopy.
Snoopy Woodstock. All right, let me stop recording here. Oh, there he is. Oh, you even got some marker in there. Super cool.
Oh, that's cute.
Flower, I spaced it wrong.
Oh, you see, but that's the first step in realizing there's a problem, and then the spacing, getting that spacing in there. That's
I'm
good.
trying to figure out how to add more flowers in between to fill up the empty space.
Yeah, that's all good. That's cool.
Thank you. It's fun.
Oh, great. All right, thank you for sharing. That's awesome. That's what makes it awesome. And everybody's sharing to see what everybody's doing. You're struggling with space, you're not alone. If you're struggling, that's all good. A little bit of frustration is good. Oh man, I came across this video. He talks about learning and a little bit of frustration. Just that edge where you're just kind of trying, and then you get it. Like, oh, I got it. All right, that's it. 10:37. We're gonna call it a night. So I'm here.
Before you close, can I have the picture of the umbrella?
The picture of the umbrella in the chat. Let me see. All right.
Your drawing or the original, either one.
Either one.
Kind of came in late.
Oh, it's okay. Let's see. Ready?
Oh, I like your background sketch. The cloth sketchbook hero.
Sketchbook heroes.
Hilario, what happened to the painting that you had behind you?
Oh, I'm still working on it.
It looks beautiful. You're done with it?
Really close. I'm gonna finish it tomorrow. I've got this other project I need to finish. Well, actually, yeah, I've got this other project, the panels. I need to finish that tomorrow. I'm gonna try to finish those panels tomorrow, and then I'll work on the painting. Hopefully, I'll have those done by next week. But the person who's wanting it is going to be here next. Actually, is here already from Mexico. So I'll see if I can have at least one of the two here to show. If I might even paint a big one. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll have something definitely next week. Okay, hold on. Am I sharing my screen? I know I'm not. I lost all my controls. Where are my controls? Hold on. Let's see.
Don't lose control, Hilario. Don't lose it.
No. I lost the controls, but yeah. Here we go. I share my screen. There it is. Oh, there we go. All right, and you wanted all right, and I closed that window. It was on the meetup. Here's meetup. It'll take a little bit to get there. It was today's meetup. Nope, not there. Notifications. There we go. Oh, some people already signing up for next week. That's awesome. All right, let me stop my recording because I'm just recording right now. All right, we got 10 hardcore heroes here all the time. That's awesome. Yeah, so hopefully I'll have, geez, if not, we might have to just